pushing and pulling, it won't open, it's no good, and I'm wide awake now. I can't get no sleep.
The Blades Ramble are proudly supported by our main channel sponsor, My Business Group, a group of brands designed to support owners, leaders and managers in business. If you're looking to grow your business, contact mybusinessgroup.co.uk today for more information or follow the link in the description below. And seeing as this is 3MB, we're proudly sponsored by VMB Auto Centres at Handsworth. They're still offering that amazing deal of 50% off your MOT when you let them know that you're a Rambler. Call them now on 0114 322 446. Thank you to VMB Auto Centres for their continued support of the Ramble.
Blades fans, subscribe to Blades Ramble. Up the Blades.
What is happening, Blades? And welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I am, of course, Jimmy, and this is deadline day. This is us taking us past the deadline. We'll be on past 7 o'clock. Not sure how much longer. Probably not that much longer. I'm conscious that was a 3MB intro. That's because this is the setup for 3MB. On this, you know, I've got different setups for different shows, and if I wanted to, we could stick the 3MB logo back on there. It's not definitely going to be a 3MB stream. I don't want to advertise it as such. Don't want to clickbait anybody. But I don't want to advertise it as such because the lads are otherwise engaged. It was just sort of something that we talked about last night while they were on, that if they could jump on, they will, and that's still the case. So you might see them popping in at certain times, and that's absolutely fine. I just wanted to give them an open invite to come on and talk things through as they're happening, really. So I've sent them the link. It's up to them if they want to jump on. Absolutely no pressure, because it wasn't planned that they would join us on this stream anyway originally. So, deadline day. Where are we with stuff? I can only tell you what. To be honest, today I have had a great day turning myself off from what's going on, taking myself away from the ups and downs of deadline day, because what will be will be. We've seen a couple of incomings at United, but I was actually getting soaked at Matlock Bath while all this were going off. I've been out with my family, my wife and my kids today. We've had a really good day and I've really enjoyed it. And now we're back to business, aren't we? So I've caught up on everything that's happening. Obviously, I still have my phone on me and checking everything that were going off. So United today, we'll talk about today, because there'll be content for days about this, about what's been happening, what could have happened, squad assessment vids and stuff like that we tend to do on the channel over the international break. So we'll definitely have loads of content coming for you. So I'm not going to get into all the details in this one stream. We're just really concentrating on whether anything happens in this last hour, and then it can spill over slightly, can't it? There's talks about Ben Mee, there's talks about Jack Robinson, Gus Hamer, Tom Cannon. We'll get into it all, but today it started off with, it were a fairly early announcement, wasn't it? I can't remember exactly when it came in, but Matos has officially signed for Sheffield United. It's a permanent deal. I don't know much about this kid, and I'm open to saying that. I'm not going to try and pretend that I know loads about him when I don't. But he's signed for us in what appears to be, and this is only what appears to be, a Vinny Souza, as close to a Vinny Souza replacement as we can hope to get. But we won't know. Proof will be in the pudding. The only thing that I've got on that is George Ellick from the Not the Top 20 podcast, who is obviously very highly rated, a really reputable couple of lads in terms of cover the EFL. Sorry, I've got Man Mountain on other line, but yes, I can hear you, mate. I can hear you. Let's get you on and see if we can sort this out. But don't worry if we can't, because that's thrown me off my cheek completely. Let's get you on, mate. Let's give you the big intro, and then we'll see if it works or not, won't we? Let's try and bring in Paul the Man Mountain.
This is the view from the mountain, with a heart so pure it's astounding. Man Mountain, strong and true. What a man, what a view.
Any good?
Can you hear me, Jim?
Now then, mate. Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, good. Oh, I can hear you all of a sudden as well. Brilliant. Hang on.
Oh, look at that! Look at. Oh, I love that. I love that little nameplate there as well. Our wife's favourite. Mate, thank you for joining us. I'm a lot more refreshed than yesterday. Had a nice shave after our little Gillette comment that came on. I spotted it, but you were right. It was much needed. Had my hair cut. Been out for a day with family. I've been nice and relaxed. How have you been today?
Yes, mate. Yeah, scaring up, getting ready. We've been a bit of a crash today, mate, because we're not back to school just yet, and some of our friends have gone to work, so we've been looking after other people's kids. So it's been all action at the Mounty Towers today, mate.
Do you know what? You are slightly delayed, actually. I don't know if that's the same for everybody else. I've got your image and I can hear you fine, but you're slightly delayed on screen. So I don't know whether we'll have to take you off, log out, log back in, or whatever you want to do. But that is something that's happening at the minute with the stream. So we can go with it. I'm all right with the delay, but it might just throw.
It might catch. Hopefully, it'll catch up. I couldn't hear what you were saying.
Oh, we are a little bit. We are catching up. So Alex Matos was the first through the door today, pal. What do we think about him?
Well, I read the reviews from his previous.
Roy's view from.
His view from I read those, and they were really good. They're very mixed, very, very mixed. I think some people see him as. I think that what I was hearing was he's very tenacious, very mobile, much better at the defensive midfield than he is as a 10, which I think he was played in some places as, and I think he used to even be a winger.
Suits us.
Yeah, so apparently his passing's poor. If you want him to pass longer than 5 yards, then he's no good. But frankly, I couldn't care less. That's exactly. He sounds exactly like the sort of player.
Puzzle piece for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, tenacious. That they all said his work ethic's unbelievable. Work rate's really high. Great in the tackle. Just a bundle of energy is kind of the review I'm getting. And you got to think as well, when he was at these other clubs as well, he would have been like 19, 18, that sort of age. Right. So yeah, you'd imagine, you'd hope. Again, we're wait and see, won't we? He could become our best player, or he could be.
And it's a permanent deal as well. And coming from a club like Chelsea, he's got pedigree. It's not something I'm like, oh, another development, another kid. And yes, it is another young player to add to an already very young squad. I would have probably liked a bit of an older head in an ideal world. But I'm not against this at all, because we're probably paying decent money for a player in last year of his contract. They wanted 10 million quid for him when he was well contracted with them. So they're obviously trying to get their money's worth, and that's the reason for the high price. But they obviously think something of him to place him at that sort of price point anyway. So I don't mind this at all. I think it's a sensible deal from United. And again, I'm saying this blind. I'm saying this on other people's reviews of the player. So I can't go all in and say it's a brilliant deal and all this, and I'm really excited about it. But I'm certainly keen to see what he can bring to the side, because he comes with great reviews, and as I say, it's a good pedigree from coming from Chelsea. The second player to be announced just before we come on, actually, about half an hour since, Ogbene from Ipswich, formerly of Rotherham and Luton, coming back from a serious injury, it has to be said. So not directly into the Ipswich side, who have also just signed this foreign wonder kid, apparently, that plays on the right side, who is blocking his path, and also Casey McAteer, isn't it, I think, from Leicester, that Ipswich have signed in the same position. So he's well down the pecking order at Ipswich, but he did sign for him for 8 million quid, I think, going into Premier League as they got promoted from Luton. What are your thoughts on Czech Ogbene? Because I really like this one. I think I know we've got designs personally on a back three, which would kind of eliminate the wingers in the system, but clearly the club and the current manager feel that wingers is something that's going to take us forward, and he is certainly this is his strongest position, high on the right. What do you think?
He could do anything on the right, Jim. I heard he was a bit of he could play multiple, like the right midfield, right wing, right back, or a wing back, or whatever. I heard that he can do all of that. So
he has previously.
When he was in the Premier League with Luton, he is an absolute flying machine. You know, we spoke about having somebody who can. I feel like Sheffield United as a club, we've been lacking pace.
I agree with that.
For years, like I
agree with that.
I can't remember anyone who could run away from anybody other than the
Ollie Burke, but he forgot to take ball with him.
Mate, what do we call him? Speedboat, no driver.
Correct. Correct.
But no, he's. But no, Benny, I was really, really impressed with him in the Premier League, and obviously when he played for Luton, I thought he was a real threat.
Yeah,
it doesn't really matter how good you are at football if you can run that quick and you've got a bit of, you're decent. I mean, it's a threat to any fullback, and it kind of like we said with Brooks on the right hand side the other day, it sort of changes the way the defenders think about you, because centre halves will drop because they want to be able to help cover if you go past your fullback, and it sort of kind of creates space for people in the middle, which I think is really important, especially with Burrows on the left. If you're going to play Burrows on the left of that, or if you do go to your 3 and you have or a 5 or whatever, you have Burrows on the left and Benny on the right. I don't know if that's the system, but if you've got that, then Burrows ain't going to go past anybody, but he has got that final ball. So I'm quite encouraged by it, mate. I think if he hadn't been injured and had the bad injury, again, it's one of those circumstances where, same with Danny Ings, if he'd been playing for West Ham, he wouldn't be joining us now. If Benny had been fit for him in the Premier League, because they obviously bought him to go to the Premier League thinking he was a player who could do a job for him in the Prem.
There has to be some question marks over these signings, don't there? Otherwise, they won't be coming to us at this stage, because, like I said, Danny Ings, past his prime, no doubt. We accept that, not being getting in at West Ham, which is why he comes to Sheffield United. If he was still banging him in at Premier League level, even off the bench, they wouldn't have let him go because he's still an asset to them at that level. But he drops down a level, and hopefully he can thrive at Championship level once fit. And it might be from the bench. Eventually, it may well be as a starter, because I think he's good enough. He's shown little bits in glimpses that makes me think, oh, well, maybe there's a little bit here still in Danny Ings. But Ogbenny is one, unlike Matos, to be fair, because I haven't seen Matos, or very little of him. Ogbenny we know all about. So he is something, like you've talked about, he's somebody who will frighten the life out of fullbacks, and I'm really excited to see. It hopefully means, heaven forbid that this could actually happen in a Sheffield United side full of midgets, but that we actually get to the byline and pull the ball back across the goal. And maybe having strikers in the box like Danny Ings, maybe that works. Heaven forbid that simplistic way of playing football actually works. It's what we used to do, mate. It's what, in a different way, in the 3-5-2 under Wilder, George Baldock and Ender Stevens used to get to the byline and pull it back across goal, and Billy Sharp or whoever it was that was just one way that we'd score our goals, but that was the way that we tried to impact the final third, and it's so simple but so effective. So I'm really pleased with these two signings today. Outgoings, none yet today. Still rumours around obviously it's time's running out for anybody to leave now at this stage if it's a club to club deal, and I say that because I think Jack Robinson, if he doesn't get a club, I don't rule out him being given his release from the club, and I think that might happen if he doesn't find a club. But I think there's probably still time, and you can get what's called, or what has been called in time gone by, deal sheets in. So if you've got to a certain level of negotiations with a player, you can go past the 7 o'clock deadline. So Gus Hamer is still not safe. We know, and I'm not going to keep going over the same thing, but we know who he's spoken to. He's spoken to Leeds. PSV are the latest that have been heavily involved. It's all a domino effect, and we know how this works, or we should know how this works. So Isak, it goes right up to Isak going to Liverpool, and then Newcastle are signing Wissa from Brentford. Brentford were then going to sign, I think it's Veerman is his name, from PSV. That would have provided PSV with the money to buy Gus Hamer. Now that's where it stopped. There's a clog in the system at the minute because Brentford are selling Wissa to Newcastle, but they have said they're not going to. PSV have said, we're not selling you Veerman. We're not selling him now. It's too late in the window. We're not going to do it. Leeds weren't far off at all with their. It's down to Leeds to meet a valuation, which they haven't yet done. This has been speculated about by others, or reported on by others online, not just me, but others have been saying exactly the same, reputable people, that Leeds have been involved. He's not their primary target. We know that's been the case for some time anyway, but Leeds have had to go down their list. They're currently talking to Harry Wilson. So is Harry Wilson the distraction that they're trying to get in instead of Gus Hamer? Because it's a lower fee. It's about 10 million quid. And do we think Gus Hamer's that much better than Harry Wilson? I'm not sure. They're very different players, but some people were wanting £20 million for Gus, 25 million, and that's a big difference, isn't it? So there's all sorts of dominoes that can. I think it looks like it's going to fall in our favour with Gus Hamer at the minute. I think it's going to be too late. There's also rumours about Tom Cannon. I know. Well, I think
wait, Jim.
I know. But that's
out.
I know. But Jim's saying he's staying now, isn't it? And I'm flip flopping. But these are how deals happen, aren't they? Or don't happen. And anybody that we've been through a few windows. I'm not saying anybody that knows football, but we've been through enough windows as supporters to know that these. I'll tell you something else as well. The fans are all over the fact that we might have Manoff lined up if Gus Hamer goes. That's the rumour, isn't it? Manoff from Stoke. Are Stoke fans going mad because they know that Manoff has spoken to Sheffield United? Are they sort of doing the same thing with people that are reporting that he could go to Sheffield? This is the same thing as we're doing with Gus Hamer. So Leeds have lined up Gus Hamer, and all they have to do is do the final bits if they wanted to do it. Time is running out, as we know. We've done exactly the same with Manoff because we're lining up deals in case dominoes fall. And that is how it works. There will be players speaking to other clubs in the event that a transfer goes through elsewhere and they need someone. And our players are involved in that. Gus Hamer is one of them. Whether people want to believe it or not, that is what's happening. There's been rumours about Sidney Peck this window. I'm sure his representatives have spoken to Premier League clubs. If they don't match our valuation, he won't go. Unless he kicks off, there's no indication that he would do that. Gus is the same, not kicking off about anything from what I understand. Great, it looks like time's going to run out on it. But again, you don't want to speak too soon, do you? Because these things tend to happen. The other thing is Tom Cannon. Tom Cannon might be leaving now in terms of Preston being in with a loan deal. They're going to pay his full wages. I like that in terms of the player and his development because he's down the pecking order now. You'd probably say his third choice striker behind Tyrese Campbell and Danny Ings. Not going to get a game for us on a decent wedge. They're going to cover his wage, and you'd imagine he's a starter for them. So if he does well for them, it certainly holds his value or maintains his value, whatever you want to say. I think it's a good move, but then you look at what Sheffield United have got, and we've got two strikers, two recognised professional strikers, if you like, in terms of behind that there's Ryan O'Neill. And have we now got enough time to get somebody else in to replace? Because we've used all his 5 loan spots. What's your thoughts on me just rambling at you for the last 5 minutes, mate?
Yeah, I think, like you say, for Tom Cannon, it hasn't quite worked in the Sheffield United shirt. I think most of the fan base would like to see him. I know some people have said they don't rate him, and certainly we haven't seen anything that says we'd be all gutted if he left or went on a temporary basis somewhere else to even like build up his value for a sale in the summer. But I feel like he's been dealt a difficult hand. He's a young player. I think he's somebody who needs it too. We've said it before. I think if he goes somewhere and starts banging him in, I think it does say a little bit about us utilising players correctly. Do you know what I mean? Because it hasn't worked completely for us, has it? With a number of players like Kiefer Moore, for example, scored more goals for Wrexham than he did for us already.
Yeah,
because of how you use him, and we kind of did say that, didn't we, last season? But
he's got more goals for them than we've got league goals, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, he's a menace if you give him the right service, and we just don't play that way. I can't remember a time where we got to the byline and slung a ball in without hesitation, without an extra dribble, an extra touch, an extra cut inside. We tend to float the crosses in. For someone like him, sometimes he needs to bundle one in, and he did do that for us on occasion, didn't he? So I think again, we've seen it with our favourite Billy Sharp. We always use him as an example, don't we? He was there 2 spells before it started to click. It was clicking at Scunny, it was clicking elsewhere, but it wasn't clicking for Sheffield United. So you just got to use your best players, or use your main threats, as it were. Yeah. Make sure they get the service. But no, I mean, Tom Cannon's going to be, if he goes there and starts scoring, we'll all be looking around scratching his heads at why that's the case, and we couldn't get him into the team scoring goals.
I think it's ironic, isn't it? Because a lot of people have slated Tom Cannon, and I agree. I think it's been slightly unfair. I don't think he's quite lived up to the standards that he'd have hoped to have done. He's certainly not hit the ground running, but I do think it's been very stop-start for him. Been very tough for him to try and get his feet under the table and have a proper run in the team as a centre forward. I think he's better in a 2 anyway. Pushed out at right wing, stuff like that. But considering, and I know I think we both seem to think that it's good for him personally. Is it a good move for Sheffield United to let him go if we're just going to have two strikers on books then? Plus
it don't offer us a great deal of flexibility if we're ever going to go to 2 up top, because you've got 2 strikers. You've got Danny Ings, who's a slightly injury prone, you could say, is likely to have a spell this season where he will probably be out.
As has Campbell previously as well.
As has Campbell. So it is a real... And he's not going to get the opportunity to be part of what we think is a pair. And it does beg the question why we bought him if there was no intention to ever play 2 strikers, why he was part of the conversation, to be honest. And when we bought him, I think he was just, he was a prospect. He'd scored goals in the division. He kind of proved, not fully proven, but was having a good season, wasn't he? So yeah, I don't know. There could be some regrets there maybe down the line. But at this time, I don't think he affects the best 11. Does he? Is he the second? No, probably not now. Ings is there, but yeah, we'll see. It makes you think that they're going to stick with 1 central striker. The
problem is we had this same issue last season, because if you remember, obviously we had Kiefer, who was going to be our main striker. Tyrese Campbell were brought in to supplement that. We had Brewster as well knocking around, and Ryan O'Neill, and then Campbell and Kiefer Moore got injured around Christmas time, around the same sort of time, for about a 4 or 5 week period, and we had Brewster and One to rotate between. And thinking about that and how we managed to go so well in the league as we did last season is incredible. But Brewster as a lone striker, I know he scored. Fair play to kid. He played and he scored for Derby all the week. Wish him well, but as a lone striker in our system, it just wasn't working for him. And Ryan One rotating in, who again is very, very raw. We've seen that this season again. And that will be the danger. That's why Tom Cannon came in. It felt like a panic buy at the time. So to willingly let your third choice striker leave, it's like letting your third choice keeper leave. Because if Michael Cooper gets injured, obviously we're all hoping that doesn't happen for various reasons. But Adam Davies comes in. If you've let Faxon and Gerbic go and everybody else, you're really scrambling around for another seasoned professional to come in and do the job that is so important in the side. It just leaves me a bit uncomfortable from a club perspective rather than a player perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they can let him go unless there's someone lined up to come in. Personally.
Unless you think Ogbenny can do the job. I think he's played up front previously and stuff like that. But not only because he's so versatile. He's not a striker by any means. But you could play that. People would say you could play the false 9 with a Gus or a Callum O'Hare. So there will be ways round it, but it's you want that option of a striker, don't you? And you want the option to change it up if a striker's not doing it in the game. So even if one of them gets injured, Campbell or Ings, Campbell hasn't been lighting the world on fire, and I think it's largely to do with service to him as well. I don't want to sort of dig him out at all, but he's not been lighting the world on fire. And if you feel like we need a fresh impetus on here, but Ings is injured, you've only got Ryan One to chuck on, and he might be playing at right wing back, knowing Selles. So what are we going to be doing with, I just think we're leaving ourselves potentially a little bit short if the Cannon deal happens. I want to get your thoughts though, mate, because I've done a little bit. I was scratching around just before stream because I only came in and started setting it up about 22. Then I thought, oh no, I best just work out who's gone out and who's coming over the summer, and we'll do a proper. It might be a 3MB on this. It might be a different ramble altogether because I'm going to do a squad assessment as I like to do after each transfer window. But we have almost restocked. People were sort of worried about, we haven't brought in enough and things like that. We need better. I think this will circle it back to a bit of reality in terms of where we are as a squad. And I think, again, like some people have said, I think the squad is decent. I think the squad is good enough to have a real go at this league. I'm not saying we're going to push for automatics now because we may well be too far gone already, but I think there's certainly potential in this squad to go really well in the league. So in terms of outs, we've let out a goalkeeper, Gerbich on loan, and we've let out 6 defenders in total. That includes the guys that have returned on loan. So you've got a right backs in Alfie Gilchrist and Harry Clark that have gone back. We've got 3 centre backs in Harry Souter, Rob Holding that have gone back, and Anel's been sold for 7 or 8 million. And Reece Norrington Davis has gone out on loan. This is as it currently stands. Obviously, there are deals that are still potentially to be done. So that's a goalkeeper and 6 defenders. We've brought in no goalkeepers, but Gerbich is like for like because he was out on loan last season. We've kept Faxon around as the 3rd. So I don't think we're any weaker per se than that. We've brought in Polendikov as a right back, who was one of the development signings and will not likely be considered for the first team for some time unless we're really stretched. I'm classing Ben Godfrey as a right back because I think that's how he wants to play him in this system. Tanganga for 7 to 8 million, which is a direct replacement for Anel, which I think is more than enough. We've got Matty, who's Nils Zetterstrom, on a permanent, and Binden as well. So he's on loan, and I think you could argue with Souter going back, but Souter and Holding were sliding doors, weren't they? They were a swap for each other. So you've downgraded slightly in terms of you haven't really got a Souter replacement, but we have got Tanganga, we have got Ben Godfrey who can go in there and be a really strong partner for him. Binden's yet to be proven. Hopefully alongside Tanganga he will come on and start to show some more confidence because it's not necessarily ability with these young players, it's confidence. So defence, you could maybe argue, you could make an argument we were stronger last season. Midfield, we lost Vinny. We lost 5 midfielders. We lost Vinny for 13 million-ish. Hamza's gone back. Brereton Diaz has gone back, now gone to Derby. Raksaki's gone back. And we've sold Jeff, which was an absolute joke of a scenario. So that's 2 centre midfielders, 2 left wingers, and 1 right winger in Raksaki. We've brought in Matos on a permanent centre midfielder. Samare as a sort of holding midfielder as well. So that's 2 holding midfielders to replace Vinny. Ukaki on the right as a permanent. Chong, who's a wing option on either side, I would say. Can play in the 10, but usually a wing option on a permanent. Barry on loan and Ogbeni on loan. Barry who's left winger and Ogbeni who's predominantly on the right-hand side. Brewster and Kiefer Moore are the strikers that have gone out, and Ings has come in. I don't think with that much... In fact, I could make arguments for being stronger in some places. Vinny and Anel are the big ones. Harry Souter's obviously a big one. But we've also got Tanganga. We've got Godfrey. Ogbeni now is a big signing. Danny Ings could really be our Tyrese Campbell of this season, which nobody expected an awful lot of him coming in. It was more a wait and see. How will he go? Danny Ings is a proven striker at the top level as well. And yes, they do start to decline, as any player does. But if he's still got gas in the tank, I think there's more to come from him potentially. And the key thing is, I think we've almost spent a lot of it's undisclosed, but we've almost spent what we've sold. So we sold Anel for 7 to 8 million. We sold Vinny for 13. So you call that, and we sold Kiefer Moore for around 2. So if you call it roughly 22 million, we signed Tanganga for 7 to 8. Call it 8. Matty for around 2, and these are more sort of wide guesses. Matos for around 5, 4 or 5 it were rumoured to be, so that's 15. And then at 1.5 for Okaki and up to 3.5 for Chong, which is another 5, so that's 20. So that's 20 million quid spent on transfer fees and 22 received. Roughly, very rough numbers. Nobody take me out of context and say this is what Jimmy's saying, but that's just trying to give you a gauge of where we are. I don't think on reflection, and again we'll go more into this as a window as a whole, I don't think that's been bad. I don't know your thoughts initially on hearing that, because I think sometimes it provides a bit more clarity on how we've done across the window as a whole.
I think that Anel and Vinny are the ones where people would say we could miss them. I think the Anel issue's been sort of solved with Tanganga, personally. Vinny's the one that needs fill-in, so there's a little bit of pressure on Matos to come in and do not the same job, but cover that position to give us a platform to build. So there's a little bit of pressure on the young man for that. I think Ogbeni, I'm hopeful that he and Chong in the wide area. I think Chong is a bit of Swiss Army player. He can play all over the show, and he commits players, and he's quite wiry, quick, and stuff. And I've seen him play before, and he's a bit of a mixed bag, isn't he? I think he's a bit of a wild card sign.
Yeah, he is.
I think he can be excellent. And I have seen him play really well and thought, wow, he's a good player. But I've also seen games where he goes missing and gets subbed at half time. So I think he's a bit of one of them. But on Benny, I've been really impressed with in the past. And like you say, he's a bit of a gamble for his injury record. But actually, he's played this year. He's in the Ireland squad. My guess is he'll be match ready on the for the first game that he's available for.
Well said, because he's not available for the Ipswich game, obviously, is he? Because that's his parent club. That's
right. Yes, he's got 3 weeks, so he's away with Ireland. He's played 3 already for Ipswich, so he's played in the cup and he's played 2 featured in 2 league matches already. So he is on the. He's not like on the comeback trail, as it were, as it was sort of implied a little bit. I think he's quite good to go. So yeah, he will provide a real threat. He'll provide something to the team that we haven't had, and that is that electric pace that just provides space for everybody. You know, the forwards, the midfield players, the creative players. Gus Hamer, if he's used correctly in the 10 as we think he should be, we'll find it that he's got a lot more space to operate in, because the defence will naturally retreat when they get in. When Benny's got the ball, they will run backwards towards their goal to cover the spaces in behind. So I'm hopeful that he's going to be a big part of the jigsaw for us. And obviously Matos is going to be something that we've not had so far this season, that has meant we've had an awful start. But like you say, if you do it man for man, you could argue that Ings is an upgrade up front. You could argue Tanganga's an upgrade at the back.
Yeah,
you'd struggle to argue.
Godfrey's an upgrade at right back, I'd say, as well, if we class him as a right back.
Yeah, I think so. And you can't really argue that Vinny has been upgraded, because we've got to wait and see.
I agree with that.
That's an open situation, but we're hoping Matos is going to come in and do the things that he's good at, things that we've heard he's good at. And if you can do that, mate, it's looking more like a balanced team than before that happened. But so we'll just have to wait and see. I don't think it's a problem if Selles is removed from his position. There's a route. I've read something today, and you never know about how true these things are, that he's got the Ipswich match to turn it around.
But and again, it's we don't know how reliable the sources are, do we, and things like that. So it's an interesting one.
Yeah, we don't know. We because the board aren't going to come out and say that to anybody anyway. They're not going to go.
Of course they're not.
No,
and
we wouldn't get that info for me. But I think it's. I think if somebody inherited this squad, so if it was that Sayers was moved on, I think they'd be looking at the squad going, you know, it's a good squad. I don't think they've done us dirty, the board. I just don't like the way that it's just taken. I don't like this deadline day action. Well,
that's the thing, and it's weird, because as we're talking, I'm concentrating on what you're saying, and we sort of struggle to keep up then, don't we? And I've just had a chance to have a little glance at what's going on, just to see if anything new has changed, because it's so fast moving.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, well, Nixon's now reporting that the Cannon deal's off, and Connor's messaged me from One Leeds saying he's hearing from a lot of different places that Leeds have gone in hard for Hamer just as a last minuter. So we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be twitchy times at the moment. But listen, we don't just need our opinions, do we? There's somebody else you want to hear from.
David knows, he really knows where the wind, I know whispers blow. Smelly brain, he's in the know. David knows, steals the show.
Dave the Nose, long time no see, my friend. How are you doing, mate?
All right.
Long time no see.
No see, yes. Him and his smelly brain. How's it going, pal?
Bit underwhelmed, I think.
Come on then, talk to us, pal.
We haven't sacked him.
We weren't gonna sack him, were we? You said that last night.
I know.
You said we were.
Man.
Yeah, is that you just having a little jab at Mountain, saying that you were right?
He wants blood, doesn't he, Dave? He wants some blood.
Yeah,
I know he does.
Get him out.
Get him out now. He's useless.
Thoughts on the two incomings today, pal?
They're all right.
Ogbenny's a good signing. We don't know enough about Matos either. It's Ogbenny's a good signing, isn't he? For
It's a
what we
weird
need.
one for me, though, isn't it? It's
Is what?
in the same division in the championship to championship on loan. Just a bit of a.
Ipswich are doing some strange business though.
Mm.
And they're just like Wolfenden go to Coventry for £4 million.
Yeah.
Who's a good defender. Really, I rate him. I'd have had him in our.
They've not sold Ogbenny to us. It's just a bit of a.
It's a weird one, isn't it?
I think it's they don't view us as a threat, and it's like, no, we'll send him there.
Well, fans have gone by me apparently, aren't they? Saying, why are we strengthening Sheffield United? Why are we giving them one of our better players?
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. Yeah, I expected more to happen today. I've got to be honest. In and
Did you?
out, it's. I know how these things work though, because you can see. You just have to look at Mark Gay, that he's been leaving and staying and leaving and staying all day long, and now it looks like he might end up staying. So,
is it going to be a stay because Palace couldn't get that replacement in? Is that?
Yeah, it looks like it.
The deal's agreed, isn't it?
No, I've been looking, following on X, and now it's back in jeopardy, and it's like Gus has been off on. Now, I've just heard what you said, that they've gone in hard at the last minute to try and get.
According to One Leeds, do not report that from me. I'm not scaremongering amongst the fan base.
So it's
from our point of view, though, the plant might be able to eke out another 2-3 mil.
It were really close, Paul. It were really close originally, and then they wouldn't quite meet our. I think it's a positive thing that we have got a valuation of him and we're holding firm on it, because in times gone by, we know what this club's been about. I'd say pre-Prince Abdullah, and people know that I'm biased, but in the McCabe days, certainly, any sniff of a cash windfall, and we were all over it, and we know that. We know that as a club, that's how we've been built, unfortunately, that we would sell our better assets for peanuts. And there's examples under every bit of ownership as to where we've had to do these certain things. We sold David Brooks, for 12, who now looked like he were going to go on and be worth a lot more than that. You'll always get Dominic Calvert-Lewin. You'll get examples of all these along the way. But I'm pleased that we have got a firm valuation of him, because he's 28-year-old. This is peak value for him, and he'll have 1 year left, I think, at the end of the season, which significantly decreases his value. And it's a risk for us to say no to 13. I'm plucking a number out of the air, but if they've offered 13 million and we want 15, it's a ballsy move from the club, who know that we may need cash. Particularly if we don't get promoted, we'll definitely need cash. And we've started so poorly, it doesn't look like we're going to get promoted. So I'm pleased that we are driving a hard bargain for our players. I'd go so far as to say, and it's easy to say this now that it didn't fall through, I'm pleased that we tried to squeeze the Tanganga deal. It looks good in hindsight that we tried to do that. You don't ever want it to be in jeopardy, but the fact that we've gone in and said, actually, if we pay that later and we don't give you it up front now, but we'll maybe give you another 20% on top if we can give, or whatever we were trying to do with that deal that made it less likely at one stage. I think the club is trying to be smart and prudent. Also, something we haven't talked about, Will Asula in a £30 million move. How many games has he played for Newcastle? Less than 10.
I've just read it's going to be a loan now, though.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Well, that would make more sense. If somebody comes in with a £30 million bid for him, then they're snapping.
They'll be sending him back, for God's sake. You know that much, don't you?
Oh, mate. Well, but it's like when we weren't actively selling him, were we? But it's when they offered a price that you can't refuse, then you're going to take it. If somebody's offered Newcastle that at 30 million quid, they're going to snap their hand off, whether they think he's a decent prospect or not. They've flipped him for double the money, haven't they? Essentially, so it's a crazy time, and I love the transfer window. I must say, having a step back from it today and not being glued to my phone has been more enjoyable than just like stressing myself out with Willy Won't on different players. Dave, have you been following it closely today, pal?
I've been at work, so I've had a minute here and there to check. So this McGuinness one's a bit of a...
No, please no. I'd rather have Paddy McGuinness, to be honest.
No likey.
Yeah, no likey. No like it. No signy, please. No. Honestly, he's one of the players that I think you look at that. Were it the Cardiff team that he were in, or were it the Wednesday team that I think he's been a weak link in most places he's gone.
Oh, fit in then.
Well, he will on current form. He will. Oh, boys.
It's a proper bizarre one though. Really, I just thought, what's the logic behind it?
It's just what we need, isn't it? Another centre half. That would surely mean that Robinson's off. But you'd think that that's why we are stalling on the Ben Mee deal, because you'd think that if Robinson goes, then Ben Mee comes in as a replacement. But
yeah,
I mean, how many centre halves have we got now? You can play Godfrey there. I know we're classing him as a right back. We've got Godfrey, Tanganga, Bindon, Zetterstrom, Robinson currently. That's 5. If we signed Ben Mee, that's 6. If we signed McGuinness, that'd be 7. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, unless there's
7, then he's going to play Cooper in goal, Hamer, and Danny Ings, and that'll be side, and we can't lose then.
If we let's go with this then. If the window slams shut and nothing changes in the next 20 minutes, which is all there is to the actual window closing, what is the best starting lineup in the 4-2-3-1? Paul, I'll go with you first because Dave needs a minute. What is your starting 11? Because we know this, or we're pretty sure that he'll stick with the 4-2-3-1. Some call it a 4-3-3. I understand that. However you want to get around it, in the formation that we have been playing, what's your starting 11?
Okay, so I think this is easy.
It should be. It should be if you've
Cooper,
got a decent balance.
Cooper, obviously, Godfrey, Tanganga, Bindon still at the minute. Burrows, we've got Matos or Sumari. It's hard to judge that one. With Peck.
Yep.
Hamer in the 10. Obviously, I think Ogbenny in the right, on the right-hand side. Yeah, Louis Barry on the left-hand side. And then at this moment, it's still Ty Campbell's, but it might not be for too long.
That's my team. That's my team as well. And I think when you get to a place where you can, and I'm not saying Sayers picks that team, because he likely picks Callum Aware and goes 3 10s and Peck just in front of back foot. Yeah, One coming on as a right back or a right wing back. But I think when you start to be able to pick the team and people are in agreement, that's when you know you've got good players in your side. Because how can Brooks don't get in front of Ogbenny for me? Okaki don't get in front of Ogbenny. That's
say when everybody picks the side as easy as that, it means you've not got enough competition.
You can always counter it with that, but then you can't say that O'Hare's a huge downgrade in the number 10. He's not quite Gus Hamer, but then you've got players who, but you've got players who can come in, finishers if you like we've often said. But Danny Ings isn't a massive downgrade on Ty Campbell. If Ben Mee comes in, and that's an if at the moment, because he would likely, I'm assuming for the three of us, he would start alongside Tanganga, but then Bindon is a decent backup to him. Burrows, we still need some work, don't we? But Femi Sariki coming in at right back gives you a decent option in terms of going forward off the bench. There's options in this. Arblaster to come back into contention, who would likely get in for Sidney Peck. Depends how Matos does, really, I suppose. It's more exciting to think that we have got these options now, and that's when the pressure switches back to the manager, isn't it? I think.
I think there's some good. There's in certain areas there's competition that means that when you, so for example, if Hamer picks up a knock and you put O'Hare in, I don't think that makes a massive difference. You got Ings who'd be pushing for Campbell's place and may even overtake him at some point. You got Ben Mee who could easily come in for Bindon at some point, and he's of a similar level. You've got Sariki who could come off the bench and provide us an attacking threat with 20 minutes, 25 minutes ago, where I think he comes into his own a little bit with his pace. Him and Ogbenny down the right-hand side.
Wow.
Yeah, well, wow. If you want to pin a team backwards and you're on top, those two are, they will do that. They'll have them camped out in their own area because they don't want to leave any space.
Frightening, isn't it? That is frightening to think.
Yeah, and there's some good things there in that situation. The left-hand side, we are light. It could be that Gus would shift out to the left at times, and O'Hare would drop into the 10. So there's options there. Where
So that's a mid-game sub, because you think, oh well, there's only Louis Barry now underneath. There's only Ryan Oney underneath Louis Barry, but mid-game, if you're playing the team that you set up, Paul, then you could also, like you say, switch Gus over to the left, take Barry off, and put O'Hare in the 10. So that's another sliding sort of move you could do, isn't it?
And that forgets about Chong as well, who I'm pretty sure will be wanting a place in this team, and obviously can cover a few different positions for us. And he'd be competition in a number of positions too. And then, of course, you've got the returning Arblaster. So there's a lot of, for me there, with the squad we've got, there is 5 or 6 players there who would fill our bench, who, if were required to play or may even push other players out of those positions, genuine competition there. There's still, for me, issues at left back in terms of the quantity we've got there. I don't think McCallum's good enough for me to challenge Burrows for his spot, which I think is a bit of an issue. But I think everybody else in that team could look at the bench and go, well, if I'm not at it, then I'm in trouble. You've got Davies to come back in the centre as well. So I think it looks more like a squad where people, if they're not pulling up any trees, can lose their spots. And certainly there's 4 or 5 players who I've just mentioned on the bench there who will think that they should be playing. So I think it's a good position. But I think it opens up an opportunity for players like Brooks to go on loan somewhere else with the signings that we've made in Ogbenny, and with Chong being able to cover the right-hand side. I think that it provides an opportunity to get some of our younger lads out the door and getting some match experience. Certainly Marsh as well. I think it's important he goes.
A bit late though, isn't it?
Daniel's just said that Birmingham City are one to keep an eye on with Jack Robinson.
An eye on with 16 minutes.
Keep an eye on.
Well, it could be that Robinson's agents told him that United might be willing to sever his deal, and therefore they could get him without any fees or anything like that. I don't know if we command any sort of fee for him. It would be a nominal fee or nothing at all.
You'd let him go now, wouldn't you? I think you'd let him go. Well, he just turned? It's his birthday, isn't it? He's just turned 32, isn't he, today? I think. So.
Well, I think whatever. I think that it may be a scenario like you said, Jim, where he gets released and then they can just pick him up and give him a deal based on that. I'm sure his agent would be happy with that because they might even pay him a signing on fee. You never know, do you? So
time is ticking. We will get some comments because people will keep us updated in the comments as well. But as of nearly 10 to 7, Gus Hamer is still here. We've just talked about the side with him in it is still a hugely pivotal part of this team. I think we acknowledge that he's our best technical player in the side. If the worst case scenario happens and he does go last minute, we haven't got any time to replace him now. Are we in big trouble, or have we just demonstrated with that squad list that it's not the end of the world if he leaves? We obviously want him to stay, but you don't want mass panic if he leaves, because Callum O'Hare, whilst not Gus Hamer, is still a good number 10 for me at this level. We would then move on to there's nothing behind Callum O'Hare. At the moment, it's probably one of our best stock positions if you class Gus as the number 10. But there's nothing behind Callum O'Hare. There's no third. It's a little bit like the striker situation. There's nobody there that can step in. We might have to pivot a little bit. But is it if we get the bad news that Hamer ends up going today, which it doesn't look like it's going to happen now. Obviously, it's way too deep into too close to the deadline. But if it did happen, are we panicking?
I don't think we're panicking. But I would love to think that there's if they're going to sling a deal sheet in at the last second and we're going to agree to it, I'd like to think there would be a replacement lined up to come in. And like you've said, I know, Dave, but I know we've got O'Hare.
I just wanted to catch your face then, Dave, even though Paul was still talking.
I know we've got O'Hare, who I think slots in fairly easily in that position. His output is nowhere near the same as Gus's, but he is a good player and can thread things up there. You'd like to think that Chong could go in there and potentially do a job as well. In that position. Again, we'll wait and see on Chong and wait and see what happens with him. But no, it's like you say, if it happened, I think we should have somebody lined up.
We wouldn't get anybody in now until January.
But
No
David,
way.
if they've known about this
10
deal,
minutes
mate,
to go, man. No way.
they must have, mate. They must have known about this.
There
deal
will be
being-
players lined up. There will be. It's just like, but like Dave says, it's how can you watch that domino of Gus fall and then trigger something else to happen, even if it's up to the point where it's just a few signatures that are needed. The time has gone. I know you put deal sheets in and stuff like that, but
if Sheffield United had got a brain cell, then they set up the next deal before that deal.
That's exactly. That's the only thing, isn't it? That's where you say, right, we're going to sign off this Gus deal now, but what we want to do is make sure we can get Sam Manoff, for example. Yeah, exactly right. Is he ready to sign? Because we've got Gus here ready to sign for Leeds or PSV or whatever. Is Manoff ready to sign the papers? We're gonna scan it together. We're gonna send it all off and make sure deal sheets are at the same time, or post date it, timestamp it, whatever you need to do.
I think it's too late for them both. To be fair,
I'd
love Gus to put something on Instagram now, a bit of classic poo housery. Just to kind of be like,
I won't, because I'd get some rate stick about that. Christ.
Picture of a lead sign for 25 miles.
Yeah, Ellen Road. Just kidding.
What time is it? 25 miles.
Too late.
Can't make it.
Or him fixing fax machine. Him putting screwdriver to the fax machine to try and fix it and get a deal done.
if people can't see that these deals change and some happen, some don't happen, you only have to look at other clubs today to see that
it's exactly what happens all the way through, isn't it?
Yeah.
You stack the deals and then they might not happen. So
yeah, people change their
mind. Have you seen
mind.
these pictures of Benny? Have you seen them all over the Twitter?
He's a smiler, isn't he? He's a smiler.
Mate, he's making me smile just looking at him. He's like,
to be honest,
his interview,
Dave, you said it in chat, didn't you? You were saying that
positive.
Brilliant. How he talks. I'm just like, this guy is an intelligent lad.
Thing is, there's so many of those interviews that you don't even have to watch because they're so formulaic, and no sort of offense to Matos or anybody that signed before him, really, for us this season. It's all that they're a big club. I can't wait to get in front of the crowd and play for the shirt and all this sort of, just like generic, standard, stereotypical lines. And I'm not saying they don't mean it. I'm sure they are excited to be here. But Ogbeni really No, I did speak to people about it, but I didn't have to speak to people about it. I know what this club's all about. I know what the fans are about. I've lived here. I've breathed it. I've come here. I've played here. I've spoke to John Egan. I've spoke to different players that have played here, and I'm really excited to be here. And it was just like a genuine sort of. It wasn't like this is a media trained answer that sounds really good and the fans will accept you in because you've said nice things about the club. It genuinely felt like you were excited to pull on the shirt, didn't it? So
yeah, I think you're right. There's a formula. It's almost like we give them the answers. Don't say Sheffield, make sure you say Sheffield United.
Yeah, it's all that, isn't it?
Make sure you mention historic. It's like bingo, isn't it? Historic club. And
it is.
Get started.
Had a great season last year. Can build on it.
It does give a platform, though, for people like Benny to endear themselves. So if they are willing to say a few bits and be a bit more relaxed with it, I mean, I think this is the beauty of a lot of the content that's out there on YouTube is that it's normal people talking about things. Where if you like when we used to watch the Blades coverage on the Blades. Like, oh my God, it's like pass me the news. It is the same thing over and over again, and it's just so dry. I think it just provides people like Benny to sort of, people are going to love him, aren't they? If he comes in with that energy and he does that. I mean, Matos could not be bothered. He was literally like, yeah, it's great.
And he's here permanently. He's a permanent sign.
He's like he was in a contest to do the shortest answer possible. We used to do it with our
decent.
At school sometimes.
What do you reckon? Yeah, big club. Yeah, spoke to Alfie. Did you speak to Alfie? Yeah, spoke to Alfie. Yeah, said it was a good club. Yeah,
good. Yeah.
I haven't watched that one yet. I've got that.
Come on, I need time.
I know. Well, you'll see, Dave, because that's like a 3.5 minute one, and Ogbenny's is nearly 7 minutes, and there's a difference for a reason, isn't there? So,
Danny Oles also put something on saying, hearing some chatter from LUFC end of a late move for Gus Hamer. Not sure whether it materialised into an official bid. You'd like to think shutters will be well and truly down at this 11th hour stage, though.
Is that McGilligan driving that, do you reckon?
No, it won't be.
I don't think Danny would say it if he didn't have someone credible telling him.
And when I were getting alt stick online, Connor was speaking to me because he'd heard the same things, and me and him were sort of swapping notes on what we knew. And he speaks to similar people than I do. He's got better contacts than me, I would say, probably in terms of journos and stuff. Mine are more close to the club, but between us, we were getting his notes together, and that's why we were both so confident that we know it's happened, because there's so many people from the Leeds side and the Sheffield United side that both know that these talks have taken place, despite what people may think. And then it's just they couldn't meet or they didn't want to meet the valuation. Now they've got so far down the list, they're like, oh, let's go back to Hamer then, because he's one that we know can provide an X factor at any given moment. I'm not sure he's a Premier League player. I know people talk about it. I think he is a top Championship player, and unless you're building everything around him at Premier League level, he's certainly not a top end Premier League player. You could argue he's a bottom end Prem player, but maybe as a squad man, I think he's very good.
It's hard to judge him, mate, because he was in what can only be described as an abysmal side.
Yeah, you could. And to be honest, you'd say the same. I suppose that is too harsh, because you could say the same for Sander Berger, who we always thought would flourish more in a better side, which he has done, with more capable players around. I think a Nell will be better in a stronger side. Some players thrive being the main man, don't they? And others thrive with quality around them, and for different reasons at different times. But I am losing comments because they are dropping off the end as more comments come on. So I'm just going to try and jump into a few. Chip Butty, I've just clicked on yours and it clicked off, so I apologise. He said if the Leeds deal were going to happen, it would have already happened. Matthew says, evening chaps, Ogbenny coming through the door is instant boner material. Up the Blades, let's start the season now. Come on, United. Matthew, love that. We are a family channel, but hopefully, it's one of them, innit? We're excited tonight. Paul says, just joining, any bids in for a new manager? Press the like button. Thank you, pal. Still need a specialist right back, says John. Can't see Wu. Wu's one that's dropped off as well, hasn't it? Wu is one that's just never materialised. So, yeah, one of them. Think we're light in this position, up the Blades, up the Ramble. I think if you consider, John, that Godfrey's... Look, people look at Ben Godfrey and they think, he's a centre-half. Look at him. Is he, 6'4"? And, he has got a bit of presence about him, I think. He's certainly an organiser. And that's initially where he came up. He came up as a centre-half for Norwich. But he was reverted to a right-back. I don't know if it was at Everton or wherever it was. And he's now played, from my understanding, more games as a right-back, as an orthodox right-back, than he has as a centre-half. So even though he's particularly at Championship level, you'd think he can certainly do more than a good job as a centre-half for us, which he will do at times. I'm sure he has already done in mid-game. I think he will be classed as our starting right-back. And Sariki will be the competition or the finisher or horses for courses in games. We might go Godfrey and Tanganga at centre-half some games and Sariki if we want to be more attacking. That might be the way we go. But I think that's right-back covered off for me if you're classing Bindon as a right-back.
You've got to consider Tanganga can drop in there, and also...
Yeah, absolutely.
There is word that Ogbenny can do a job there also. So...
I think he's more forward-thinking than Sariki, to be honest, in terms of defensive duties. But I think he's like...
it's what he's been asked to do.
Yeah, he reminds me a bit of like supercharged Sariki, to be honest, as Ogbenny. Ricky says, Tanganga up front. If struggling with strikers like Man United did with Maguire, he scored again the other day up top. It wouldn't surprise me. Ryan O'Neill at right wing-back, that's going to be the thing that haunts him, I think. Let's have a look. Insanity, it says Johnny to keep doing the same strategy, losing every week. Sure it's not, but looks like without a fight from the players. It does look like that. We talked about that a lot last night on 3MB. This is more of a special sort of transfer episode that we weren't necessarily. Yeah, it's a transfer special, isn't it? 3MB transfer special that we weren't sure were going to come together, but thank you, lads, for joining us. Blazeman from the Lane says, does all these incomings mean Sayers keeps his job and was using this as a reason for his poor/no game plan every week? Liverpool would fail under his leadership, in my opinion. I think he keeps his job, certainly for the Ipswich game. That is certainly what's been circulated online. We don't know the credibility of the source. how long's a piece of string now? It's an inevitability for me that this will happen unless he can get this side of very good players for the level clicking, because that's obviously what he's been tasked with doing, and they're more than good enough to start getting results at this level. There just doesn't seem to be a plan, and that's the concern. I can see you boys fixed now as deadline approaches. Anything coming in, because I'm on 59 here. I'm on 59, and to be honest, on TV, it's giving me a countdown, 25 seconds to go.
Someone's put in the Platinum group that Leeds deal for Harry Wilson's fallen through.
Well, that will probably have happened an hour ago, and that's where the Gus late swoop might have come from, potentially, because it's all teed up as it has been, and then just do they lay the money down in time. Yard Dog says if we keep Cooper, Hamer, and Peck, then we have had a good window.
Peck's one that surprised me. I could see I could have seen that something happening there, and
yes,
it's not
me
even
too.
Been a whisper of it.
Yeah, me too.
One of our rivals, Middlesbrough have signed Sunderland midfielder Alan Brown. Steady sign.
Steady Eddie.
Swansea signed Celtic striker Ida, he's a Republic of Ireland striker, isn't he?
Yeah, decent.
Yeah,
Not
he's
bad.
very good. Yeah, I like him. Certainly at championship level, he'll score. He's fast.
All Blades, aren't we? Up the Ramble, says Luke Van Dome. Thank you, Luke. Really like your stuff, pal. I know I've said that before. But yeah, always welcome on here if you want to do a few bits with us. Brian says Connor isn't a wind-up merchant, is he, Jim? In terms of no, he wouldn't be joking about this. I think he's live himself now. Not that I want to send anybody over there, but a lot of channels like us will be doing these sort of streams. Let's be right. So we've been working together on this one. To be fair, I don't think that's any secret, me and him, and we've been swapping notes, and we know what's been happening. It's just whether it actually drops or not. What are you laughing at, Mountain?
I've just come across a little report on the BBC from Andy Giddins, sports reporter for BBC Radio Sheffield. Deals off. Wednesday's hopes of additions look to be dashed. I am hearing all planned incoming transfers to Sheffield Wednesday are on the brink of collapse. Understand at the 11th hour, the AFL have once again vetoed all attempts to sign players today, despite huge efforts from boss Henrik Pedersen and his recruitment team to add to the squad. Line up were Manchester United's Harry Amass and Manchester City's Jaden Heskey. There was also the possibility of at least two other players from Premier League clubs. Sources say that Pedersen's pitches were instrumental in getting any deals over the line, despite the fact that the Owls would be unable to contribute a penny to any of the wages due to the EFL stance. This is now going to change until Chairman Chansiri commits to satisfying the EFL's questions. All of Wednesday's deals are in the bin, lads. Just for some of the Blades.
Well,
and that's
like that poster.
That fell off my wall just in time, like the Wednesday deals. Almost like I'd pushed a button on it, wasn't it?
And there they go.
Bang!
Yeah. Paul Young, the cowboy.
That's your deal sheet in the bin. Sorry, Wednesday.
That's their deal sheet that's just fallen off the wall. Oh, beautiful timing. Paul Young, the cowboy, old Tex himself, says Will Asula 30 million. Camera Archer's worth 20 quid. Well, I wouldn't normally have got a ridiculous comment up like that, Paul, but I am getting it up because I've just seen it flash up on screen that you've returned as a Platinum Rambler. So thank you, pal. Welcome back to the team. That will be a popular addition to the group. And thank you for your support, mate. It's very much appreciated.
What you've just said is nonsense because they have just signed Harry Amass on loan.
Who?
Wednesday.
Well, it was Andy Giddins, wasn't it? So.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that! Gids straight under the bus. Whoa, not me.
Mate,
Can't believe you've done that, Giddins. Honestly,
it's all right.
don't shoot the messenger.
They do. Don't worry, mate. It'll be me that gets stick for it. Well, they said on Ramble that all
Jimmy,
Wednesday
I can't
deals.
believe you've told everybody that, and then it's not happened. Honestly,
Mate, absolute clickbait. That clickbait.
Sensational.
Mark Meldrew says we're just getting Ogbenny to get him minutes, and then we'll send him back. Oh, Mark.
Positive as always, Meldrew.
Positive as always. Scott says Jack Robinson to Birmingham is doing the rounds. I know Dave will see this. Yes, he did. He did. Daniel was reporting it. James says Jimmy will nip him over to Brum.
I'll take him now. I've got to nip out in a minute, so I'll drop
Absolutely.
him off on the way.
He's certainly on way out, isn't he?
We bleat about bad deals for Brewster and McBurney. Here, this one. Højlund moves to Napoli on loan. Manchester United paid 72 million to sign Denmark striker Rasmus Højlund from Atlanta just 2 years ago.
Well, no, worse,
72 mil.
No, worse than that. Anthony's gone to Betis, I think, for 22 million, and I think they paid about 70 for him.
Money, have they got 22 back for him? I'm almost upset for him that they paid 20 million for him. He's absolute garbage. He is.
Who's the Sheila's Wheel says? Who's your new captain? I think it's Gus, isn't it? If Gus stays, he'll keep the armband. I would say.
That, Jim, we're past the deadline. Everything's done, mate. Don't worry about that.
I hope you're right, mate. I hope you're right.
But you said it was done.
No.
No, it's not done.
I would just clickbaiting everybody. What can I say?
They can suck him now, though, can't they?
I told you to stop doing that, Jim.
I know you did. Finn says, "Hope all is okay. All is good, lads. Wondering why the deadline is now 7. Any reason you can still sign players can you still sign players until 11? No, I just think it's more sociable hours for everybody. I think you can probably get more prime time coverage of deadline day around this sort of hour rather than 11 o'clock. You'd still get a lot of views, but
Scotland's 11 o'clock. Just saying.
All right. I thought something had happened then. You come in with a big finger, mountainous finger.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Jim.
2 hours for the deal sheets, I believe, so stuff can still happen.
Oh, Jesus, I'm not staying on that long.
These deadlines are
crazy, aren't they?
I've got another football club meeting in 25 minutes. So,
Chris Mahindra says, according to Wilder's pals, he would be open to a return, so his name should absolutely be back in this discussion. We should be singing from the minute 1 to 90 every game until they put this mess right. I think, I don't want to sort of change the narrative. I would absolutely love it. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not alone in that, and I'm aware of that. But it does become a bit of a broken record, and we don't. What everybody knows. The channel is pro Wilder. I think certainly I am. I know the lads wouldn't be necessarily against. Dave, you're more so like, let's have a change. I just think it's old ground.
No, I didn't necessarily. I don't necessarily. I just don't think he's the only answer. That's the best way I can put it.
I agree with that.
He is an answer, without a doubt.
Dave, you got to tell everyone who your WoW player is, mate.
I know that took on a bit of a life of its own, didn't it? The WoW player.
Just even mentioning it, and it's been absolutely fever pitch in the chat talking to it about this WoW player.
No, I don't want to be that guy. I'm not an ITKer either. So,
Sonny Glasby from Glasby's Pallets, big sponsor of Behind the Ramble. Thank you, and Ramble FC. Sonny, top man, and look at that, 2 very handsome chaps in that profile picture, taken by Ollie Arblaster, which I mention every time, but it gave me a right giggle when that happened. Ollie, would you mind taking this picture for us, please?
That is hilarious.
He's so good.
If that's not a claim to fame for you, mate, I don't know what is.
It is such a flex, isn't it? It is such a flex. Will you take a picture of me and Man Mountain, Ollie Arblaster, Sheffield United captain?
You'll notice I never mentioned it.
What?
You just let me do it, don't you?
You're not that big-headed.
Evening, boys. Well, yeah, if you do that. Evening, boys. Hope you're well. It kills me inside that the team we now have could easily tear this league up under the right man behind the wheel. We can only hope. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Like and sub, guys. Yeah, Sonny is an advocate of change. I don't know many Blades now that aren't. So we were saying just last night, it's unanimous, I think, in our chat that everybody wants a change. It's gone beyond, even 5 games in, I think it's gone beyond, but we'll wait and see. Daniel confirming Leeds late interest, says Joe. As Dave the Nose said as well, to be fair. Scott says Daniel confirms Leeds late bid. Told you. It's not over. Let's just say that. Gus could still be sold to PSV tomorrow, says Scott. Dutch window doesn't shut until Tuesday. Let's hope not. Why would you say that? Why would you say that so loudly?
I'd be surprised. I've got to be honest. And
I would. It's too much money for Dutch League. It's too much money for Dutch League, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I just I think even United of all teams wouldn't do that.
A lot of people saying get Josh Brownhill. He just turned down Wolves and Leicester. Turned down Burnley's contract offer in Premier League. There's no way, no chance. Josh Brownhill comes to Sheffield United. Paul says, I don't think the squad is good enough to get 75 points to get into the playoffs with a new manager. If this clown is still in charge, we're not getting 50 points and he'll take us down. He's got to go. Oh, my word.
Liverpool have got a deal sheet in for Gahey.
Told you.
Scottish Blade says, Wilder heading my way, Rangers. Yeah, he's been rumoured to go to Rangers if Russell Martin gets the bullet.
Tear it up there, won't I?
Yeah, this must have been when we were talking about I'd love Hamer to come out and say something, doing a Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, that'd be nice. That would be nice. Will, one of our Platinum Ramblers, and a mod in the chat. Thank you to everybody that does that for us, because it's really very much appreciated. If Hamer goes at 7 o'clock, that'll sum up everything about the start to this season. And that was at 5 to 7. But obviously, we know that these things can tick over slightly. Let's have a look. Liam says, no chance a deal to us Leeds gets done this late on. That's if they were going from scratch, Liam. They're not, are they? Chirac says, Hamer's going with no time to replace, different owners, same old poo. North 77 says, Hamer's gone to PSV player, honestly. Y'all see, I'm gutted. Okay. Well, I don't think that's true, but we'll wait and see. Best make sure the fax machine is plugged in and got toner in it, says Cyrus. Absolutely right. Cannon staying, Robbo going, Hamer going, sadly. It says darts and football on top. I think to Leeds last minute, but we have 2 minutes. That's it. Come on, let's keep them. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Ooh. Fez says, can Hamer still go to PSV after our window closes, as the Dutch window doesn't close while tomorrow? I assume so. Didn't know that was the case, but if their window's still open, then you'd think that they can do that. Matt Costello says, Carrick's a front runner if he gets sacked. Michael Carrick, lads?
Okay.
Not for you?
Nope.
Very indifferent about it.
I don't
Not
mind
for
it,
me.
you know.
Better options out there.
I
Well,
think
there
there's
are.
better options. It's not the worst option in the world, but he's nowhere near the top of your list of who you'd want, is he?
I'd give him a chance, but he won't be in. Probably won't even be in the top
I
5.
thought he did a decent job with Middlesbrough when he first went in. He had a good squad.
Yeah, he did all right, but maybe with some of the players he had, he could have done a bit better than he did.
So there's a lot of excitement with windows closed, window is shut. I'm just going to err on the side of caution. It feels good. No point having right tools for the job, but you haven't got a clue how to use them. That's right. All the gear, no idea. Is that Ruben Selles? Chris says, every time I listen to you guys, I get optimistic. Then I see him on the touchline. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Hit the like. Thank you, mate. Rich says, I think Sayers gets the 2 weeks before Ipswich, and if there's no discernible improvement, it's gone. Riff says 532. Riff, we miss you, pal. Can't wait to see you back. He has continued his support for the channel whilst he's been out of the group. Just having a little break because it does get pretty chaotic in there, it's fair to say. 532 makes sense with five centre backs now. I thought he meant 5 across the back then in terms of the 5 centre backs, but yes, you're right, 3 centre backs. If Gus does get sold, would you push the boat out for Brownhill? Been free since the transfer window, don't end today. Hadji also out of contract. Do we need a direct Gus Hamer replacement? Because we still don't really know. We think he's a 10 now. We thought he might have been an 8, but we think he's a 10 now. I think that's probably about right. Do we think we need?
I'm going to have to interrupt you. Sorry, I have got to shoot, so I'm going to have to say goodbye to everybody. But just for Ian, and you'll see this if you look at the Platinum chart. I would also give it to Gladys over Phil Neville.
Or Sayers.
Well, that goes without saying, given the my
32 votes for Gladys, 0 for Neville, 0 for Sayers.
Is that
Even
Gladys
though I
the
lost
tea
my
lady?
editing yesterday, it's no surprise that there's no way I'm picking him over anybody.
David knows. Thank you for joining us,
Yeah,
pal.
so thanks everyone, and he's staying. It's fine. Don't panic.
Oh yeah, sound. Cheers, buddy.
See you later.
See you soon.
Thanks, Dave. See you in a bit.
Dave the knows. He really knows. Right. Vardy's gone to Italy, says Jamie Dumpling. Don't care. No, I'm only joking, Jamie. Thank you for letting us know, pal. Rotherham have just signed one of Luton's centre halves. I think that means McGuinness doesn't happen. Thank God for that. And obviously, it's way too late for a brand new deal like that to come to fruition, I would have thought. Let's have a look. Rob, Sunderland fan, who normally comes in peace, says Mountain out. Mountain. I don't know what that's in reference to. Been caught up in Sunderland's business. Have the Blades done any deals? We've signed Matos from Chelsea on a permanent deal, who spent some time in the Championship with Oxford last season. And we've signed Ogbenny from Ipswich as a right winger. And I think that's a really good deal for us, to be honest. So, okay. Let's have a look. Anything else? Hamer not safe yet. Dutch transfer window closes tomorrow. He's not safe from a Leeds bid yet, depending on if they've managed to get a deal sheet in. So we'll have to wait, Chris, and see what's happening there. Connor's face is a picture. He's not happy that they've signed 0 players today. Let's hope that is the case for us. Evening all. Wilder touted for the Rangers job on something I've seen today. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Yeah, I've seen it too, pal. I've seen it too. I think it's a good move for him. I think it's a good move for them.
He'd love that.
Yeah, he'd love it, and they'd love him, and it's an ideal time to walk in it after Russell Martin. So, LA Blade says, "Evening lads, jeez, you pro Wilder, Jimmy. You should have said, up the Blades, up all the Rambles, like and subscribe." Yeah, he's it goes a little bit deeper than just loving everything about him. He did pull me out of a bit of a dark time personally, and that was Sheffield United were doing so well under him. And the way he made me feel connected to the club, I just can't shake that special connection to what he and I won't be the only one either. So, and he is subconsciously likely a very strong reason why we have this channel. Because if United weren't doing so well and I wasn't enjoying them as much as I did, then I wouldn't want to come on and talk about them like we do. So ultimately, that there is some deep-rooted reasons why I'm so pro Wilder. I do see his flaws. Like, he has got plenty of flaws. It's like your parents, isn't it? Like, when you're kids, you think your parents are brilliant, and then you get to be an adult and you see them for all their flaws, but you still love them. It's one of them things. I take Mickey out of my dad just as much as he.
Don't worry.
You are.
Andy will be on the phone to you in a minute. You are.
Hey, he knows.
He
Gets some right stick off me and my brother, but he gives it back, and it's it doesn't change how you feel about him. It's one of them things. Hey up, lads, a good result in keeping older. Gus says Big Mally. It looks that way. I'm hoping that is the case.
No news is good news.
Honestly,
if we keep him, mate, it's a great little window when you consider what some of the gaps we've plugged. I know that not everyone's happy because we didn't get the right back, but I think it feels like a good squad now. Yeah,
Filey Blade says Brooks will have to start at right wing against Ipswich, cutting into the traffic every time. Yeah, I think he's very predictable at the moment, and that has been an area that we've now upgraded, but obviously he can't play against his parent club, which is Ipswich. So you're right, Filey Blade. He will likely start that game. Paul Young, I'm still a Sayers supporter. Not many left, but I am one. Fair dues, mate, and you're entitled to be that. You have infiltrated the Platinum chat now, and you are the sole survivor, I think, of that island of Sayers. But fair play, mate. It's all about opinions. It's just, and it's not about trying to get others to agree with we should all be Sayers out, because that's, everybody's entitled to think whatever they want. I just find it really interesting that the vast majority of Blades now are all Sayers out. So, yes, that's the balance.
We all want you to be right, Paul. That's the other thing, isn't it? We'd love you to be right, mate.
Absolutely, we would.
We'd love the team to go on the march now, and then us ended up doing really, really well under Sayers. We'd all love it. Just can't see it.
Too right. Matt, thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it, pal. Justin Hamer in the kebab shop in Sheffield. Panic over, lads. He's back at home where he feels most comfortable. Any chance we still go for me or Redmond, says Mobs. Yes, there is. I think, from what I understand, Redmond, again, was a deal worked right up until the final points, and then we discovered that Chong was available. So I think we've gone for Chong instead of Redmond. I don't think Redmond happens personally. It was a deal that was agreed and sorted, from what I understand, and Chong is instead of Redmond. And now that we've got Ogbeni in, who plays in his position on the right, and Brooks beneath him, and Okaki if we need that as well, I think we're well stocked in the position that Redmond would predominantly cover. I think Ben Mee comes in. I would love Ben Mee to come in. I think a lot of people have echoed that. I know Paul's in agreement with that. Dave was in agreement with that. Not just for the impact that we still believe he could give on the pitch at 35, but Paul mentioned it last night, and it's an old Wilder saying, and it's a brilliant saying. He's a culture carrier, and he's a leader of men, and he is a culture carrier. He sort of picks players and others up and leads them, and he sets the tone. So, and I would love Ben Mee to come in. And there's rumours that it might be on a player coach type basis, which is obviously going to be the next step in his career. And I would love it. I think it's a really smart signing if it's done. Thoughts, mate?
Well, I'd like Ben Mee, definitely. I'd also like Redmond, to be honest. I'd rather we had Redmond and then sent Brooks and One out on loan. And then Redmond, because Redmond can do both sides, left and right, can't he?
With window shutting, we can't send him out, can we? The only place you can send him is National League now, and it's too
probably
low.
Not but also, Jim, it's probably not the sort of deal that would make the headlines. It might be something that gets announced later, because we always find that the following day and stuff like that. I personally would have had them both out on loan because I don't think they're quite ready.
I agree. And Louis Marsh as well. Owen Hampson, all these sort of players. And I get that there are, and I haven't often given this enough credence, but there are benefits to players staying with the first team squad and playing with better players than they would be out on loan. So, talk about that quality, that better players can improve with quality around them as well. So there is that element to it, but I don't think there's anything like going out and getting proper games in league football. So that'd be my preference too. Michael says Sasnaukis, yeah, old Sassy, yeah, get him out as well. Gary O'Neill, like Baptiste's gone to Rotherham, and I think that's a really strong move for him as well. Gary O'Neill seems like a COH Sports appointment. Yes, he does. I think he's a bit of a hybrid. I think he's one of those that would speak up if he didn't agree with things. It appears as though Sayers has done that as well, to be fair. But I think he would not be... Sayers has been accused of being a yes man. I think he's pushed back on those theories in the way he's spoken in the press and things like that. But I don't think Gary O'Neill could ever be taken for a yes man. And I think that would be a smart appointment because he bridges the gap between a head coach and an old school manager that they want to move away from. Does he excite me? Not particularly. It's in the Carrick mould for me in terms of, another good name at championship level. Whereas I'd be more excited by a Sean Dyche or a Steve Cooper personally.
I think O'Neill's got more to point at than Carrick when it comes to the CV. Obviously,
Agreed.
He's managed in the Premier League and Carrick hasn't. And
He's done a good job as well, O'Neill. Done a good job.
Yeah, I think so. I think we saw some good performances. He spoke really well, didn't he, on Sky Sports, doing some analysis for them.
Yeah, he did.
I thought
really impressive that.
Yeah, I think he spoke really well, and I think he's got that little bit more. He'd come across as having better soft skills, I'd imagine, than Sayers.
Yes, I'd agree. Fair. Dave Moore with the £10 super chat. Thank you, pal. James Last would get a better tune out of our squad than this clown. The poster for was brilliant, says Matt. I agree. Fantastic. Is Gus fitter this year to make 90 minutes, or is it not as hectic as under Wilder? I don't know. I don't know. I can't say he looks like he's gone for the 90 minutes. I know he's played for the 90 minutes, but I don't think he's gone all the way to the end. But I don't think any players have, to be honest. I don't think we've looked great and energetic throughout the games. So, any thoughts on Gus over 90?
Yeah,
pal?
well, we hadn't seen him at the deck and start holding his hamstring and doing all the stunts. When he gets to 65 minutes, he's just like looking over at the bench like this. I always thought it was excellent the way Wilder completely ignored him. It's just like get up. Like he knew the character, didn't he? He knew that if he took him off every time, he'd be doing it every game. So So yeah, I think he looks a bit more trimmed, doesn't he? I think he does look.
Yeah, he does. He does. That's fair.
A bit more trimmed.
Positive Keith says Sayers can leave. Thank you very much, pal, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Sayers can leave this club with his CV saying, "Turn positive Keith to just Keith." The man has broken me. Oh dearie me. Liam says, the Leeds fan says, we didn't get a deal sheet in for Hamer, only Wilson. Check the Lyle Thomas tweet. Let's have a little look at that just to see if that is in fact what's happened. Lyle Thomas, the name already I know. Not that one. Not that one. I can't see it. It's not popping up as a regular for me. So, but I'm pretty sure he's a known journalist. If anybody could can you have a look at that? Can you find it, mate?
I don't know, mate. All I've got is Peter O'Rourke saying that Will Asula's loans falling through. Someone must have rang him up and told him he's rubbish. So I bet they were when Newcastle, when that deal came out, 30 mil. I was like stunned. I sat there and quiet for about 30 seconds.
It's crazy, isn't it?
What was being said. I was like, if they get that deal over the line and he turns up there and starts training, they'll be looking at him going, "What have we got here? What have we got?"
My word. Jared says, do you think the latest signings give Sayers more of a chance to turn things around? A chance for new players to buy into his project? Or do you think the existing players have lost all confidence? There's a lot of reputable people saying, and I've heard this myself, that the players are happy under Sayers. It might not appear so in their output on the field, but a lot of them respect him, and a lot of them, the manager is not the problem for the players. I don't know what the problem is, to be fair, but Sayers, the players not buying Sayers is supposedly not the issue. I just don't, as a fan watching, I don't understand what the project is. I don't understand this. I understand it in terms of how he explained it, in terms of vertical football and, on the front foot and high press. I just don't see it come to fruition on the field. So I can't get where he's going with it. Rich, one of our Platinum Ramblers and a well-informed one at that, says, I would take me, but with us not getting Robbo out, will it be a problem? I think there's a chance Robbo leaves, isn't there? Anyway, like we've been discussing.
Oh, Jim.
Yes, mate.
Again, I don't know how.
Don't.
There's a picture of Hamer on Twitter in the stand at Ellen Road looking at his phone.
No, that's an old one. That's from when Bogles.
I thought it might be.
That had been circulating a few times. I'd seen it.
Good. I just wanted to check.
No, that's from when Bogle signed for Leeds. That one. That's about a year old. Tom Leaks says the lad from Ipswich or from Chelsea ever played right centre back or left centre back, because that'll be the positions they're playing with this bloke. Alessandro says the idea of O'Neill is a clown shown. Lost 11 of 16 games, minus 16 goal difference when sacked, and 19th on only 9 points. Pereira, with one signing in Jan, got them 15th and 43 points. I'd avoid O'Neill at all costs. Pereira, what's the Bournemouth manager's name? Areola. Yeah, I think that's who you mean, Alessandro. He's a top class manager. So I'm not saying that your criticisms of O'Neill are wrong. Again, it's an opinion, and that is a poor start. It's a poorer start than I certainly recognised. But I think you can't underestimate the impact of a really strong manager as well. Natalie says, are these signings he's brought in going to genuinely change us and start picking up points and scoring goals? We need to play better. Play being the operative word, thoughts, lads. I agree. It's how he gets them playing rather than... We've now accumulated a good squad. Can he get them playing that way? You look like you want to tell me something.
No, I don't. There's nothing set. There's nothing. No breaking news here. But no, I think that's absolutely right. I think it's sort of gone beyond the acquisition of personnel because of just the quality of the performance is that bad with a host of quality players who were, again, I don't want to repeat what I said last night too much, but everyone's playing below below where their norm is, below where their ceiling is, and I think that is just, it doesn't matter. Like, even with Tanganga in the side, we look like we still could lose significantly because of just the play that was going on in front of him. So I think it's difficult to justify keeping him. And if this ring about and the Ipswich game is true, I cannot understand it at all. I would not understand it at all if they said you've got the Ipswich game, which I doubt is true. Because
it's an untested source, isn't it?
But I just don't think that information gets into the ether. So
it's an untested source, isn't it? To be fair,
yeah. And again, it's not the sort of information that I believe someone would say to a manager anyway. I don't think they'd warn him that he's got a game left. So I just think it's an odd choice. I think tonight, tomorrow should be the time to go, because it's just so bad. It's
bad. A weird one, because you think and again. I'm going to use Chris Wilder in this example, but it could also be under insert any other competent manager here, and that's harsh on Selles, but any other exciting managerial appointment from this point as well, to be fair. It could be anybody but Wilder, but if Wilder had made these signings for Sheffield United, we'd all be really excited for the season. We'd all be Tanganga coming in on a permanent. Alex Matos, let's see what he can do. We don't know much about him, but Ogbeni coming in on the right-hand side. Ben Godfrey as an addition to this side. We'd be really pleased under a more accomplished manager is probably the best way to put it. It doesn't have to be Chris Wilder, but obviously he's just a more recent example. If Sean Dyche were in charge of this squad of players now, you'd be really sort of, it'd be the old Shaquille O'Neal, wouldn't it? Ooh, here we go, sort of thing. But it's anybody that's, I don't know. I think that is the next step for United. It's inevitable when it happens, but it's just when. Andy says, let's have some perspective. We're only 10 points behind automatic and 8 for the playoffs. Plenty of time to get this squad flying. There is, Andy, and that is true perspective. But do you see it under this current manager? Because that's our argument. The playing squad is good enough to be challenging top end of the division. And that has been a worry that it would all be dismantled under this manager, and it hasn't been. Particularly when we first start making our signings like Polendikov, Ukaki. They're the players that are coming in when we're losing an El Ahmedhodzic and we're losing all the loan players. That was real sort of, oh no, where we're going to go. The board then seems to click into it. It starts off with slow burners like Louis Barry, who I still think it could be a decent signing for us. Excited at the prospect of it. Bindon we liked. Both of us liked him and still hope he can come good alongside a better defender. But they're quite tepid as well in terms of top-end championship signings. That it's more a potential to be really good players in this league rather than are good players in this league. Then the board have woken up and Ben Godfrey comes through the door. Serie A Premier League experience. Tanganga, real strong prospect at Tottenham, played outstandingly well in this league for Millwall. Statement signing at centre half for us. And like you said, can play right back as well. Ogbeni been promoted out of this league and had a real influence on his Luton side, getting promoted out of this league, played Premier League football last year. I think there are some real positive things to take out of this transfer window. We'll do a separate show about it, but under the right person, Andy, that's the problem. And it's not the problem, it's the big question now. Can Sayers, now he's got the tools, if he's going to get the Ipswich game, which we believe he probably will anyway, whether that's his last game or not, it looks like he's going to get the Ipswich game, then can we see any shoots of optimism there? I'm not saying we're going to have to turn them over 3-0, but can we see any patterns of play? Can we press them? Can we push them back at their own ground? These recently relegated, what should have been promotion favourites and still probably are promotion favourites. Can we enforce a game plan on them that the manager has concocted and got us playing in a shape and a style that he believes in now that he's got all the tools at his disposal? Time will tell. Do you believe it, Paul? Do you believe it'll happen?
No.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for your input. No, it's right. It's what we've been saying all along.
It's a no for me. It's a no. The performance has been so bad. Reaction's been bad. Players are no one's on it. No one's at it other than Tanganga.
Yeah,
that's it.
Agreed. Hopefully it changes, but we're not the most confident under the manager at the moment. Sayers won't go, says Hutch. The board won't change him after sacking Wilder. They'll need to stick with him or they'll look silly. So hypothetically, would Russell Martin do a job if Rangers sacked him?
Hutch, if we get to 7-8 games and defeats in a row, mate, how can they stick with him? It's literally impossible. You can't start that badly. At the minute, it's a mini crisis. 4 games, it's recoverable. Like there's only like one team with a 100% record. It's all there. Like you say, there's plenty of games left to do it. If they leave it to 10 matches and we've got 1 win on the board, we are playing catch up all year, and the likelihood of us bridging the gap becomes smaller and smaller. And yeah, it's just got to be, mate. Let's start with a good performance. Let's start like we look like we're not going to concede 4 goals. Then can we string some attacks together? Can we have some shots on target? Can we then score a goal? And then can we win a game because we are miles away?
I'm shuddering at the thought of Russell Martin following him in as well. I mean, we had some recent suggestions in circles that Phil Neville were being considered as well as a potential successor. It just sends shivers down your spine, doesn't it? Con says McGuinness, and Scott also says Irish lad McGuinness is in. Any chance of having a look at that for me, Paolo? See if that's something that's happened.
Is that
I'm
fresh?
sure that's not happened. Jay Bod says we've apparently signed someone else Irish. Oh no. Jake says
why do you dislike him so much? Tell me.
Because he's one that we've seen before. He played for. He signed for big money. I think. Did he go to Luton for 10 million quid? Or he's been somewhere for 10 million. But he always looks to me like he's got a ruck in him. There's
nothing Sheffield United official.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't have expected that yet, but
Probably Wednesday.
Jake says, objectively, this was a decent window, especially if Hamer doesn't go. Just a few outgoings replaced by some decent players, as well as a good amount of depth. Over to Sayers to get something done now. Yeah, absolutely right. We'll wait and see, lads and lasses, if that is something that's happened with McGuinness. Luke says, I think it's McGuinness that's come in. Jimmy Paddy says, keeping Gus Hamer is an enormous moment. Yeah, I agree.
Right, again.
Jimmy, do your breaking news bit.
Jay De Silva. Yeah, again, we don't know how trusty this is. Jay De Silva's arrived for a medical at Sheffield United.
Where's that from?
Again, we're just going to go and, ignore that.
Andrew Booth says, Danny All's posted Muck and someone holding a pint of Guinness. Looks like Ben Mee's sign then. Nice. Josh says, would you look at Yanis Hadji or Emmanuel Dennis as free? Is Emmanuel Dennis a free agent? Can play all across the top. There's some great clips of O'Neill on Monday Night Football talking about how they used things from training in games on YouTube. Yeah, I remember watching him on that Monday Night Football. Thought it was really impressive. I think he's done his CV world of good just by having that clip in the ether, really, because he spoke really well. Mark McGuinness tweet from Danny Hall. That was 3 minutes ago. Oh my word! What? Look, I'm not against us strengthening, and I'm certainly not going to write him off before we've done anything. But why do we need another centre half?
He's been listening to me, mate. He's going through it at the back.
He could be, but then why do you sign legit, orthodox wingers if that's the case? Let's see what Danny's put. Yeah, Merck and a guy holding a Guinness. Interesting.
I see it.
So that sort of concerns me a little bit. Not because McGuinness is coming in. Look, if he comes in, then great. And that might. I'd rather have had Ben Mee, because you've got to think that Kibosh is Ben Mee, really, surely. Otherwise, we're just collecting centre halves. I'm a little bit disappointed in it, if I'm totally honest. But we give him a chance. He's coming in to wear a Blade shirt. It worries me because we didn't hear about that sneaking through, and we're well past 7 o'clock. Could that happen with Hamer? Stashy says Hamer wanted out. Likely not going to be up for this. No, Hamer didn't want out. The player is happy to stay. Always been the case. We've never said anything different to that. Agent has been pushing for a move all summer. because that is how agents get paid. There are certain things going on with Gus that he wouldn't have been against a move in certain scenarios, from what I understand. I'm not going to get into it. It's distasteful to do so, but happy to stay was always part of the rhetoric from Gus. So I've no questions or qualms about his desire, either on or off the pitch. Everybody you speak to that comes into contact with him says he's always happy and smiling, and you know his kid's been in his kids at school in Driffield and stuff like that. So I don't know where his son's at school locally, but yeah. So I don't have any concerns about that, to be honest. S says we've lost more matches this season than Leeds did all last season. There's no need for that, is there? Ab says Champ is way more competitive this year. We've sold half our squad, and teams like Swansea are dropping 6 mil on Ida. Much harder this year. The Champ in Ruben we trust. Fair dues. Ida, it's good for Swansea that they are being brave and trying to sort of keep up with the, like you say, the ever improving Championship. Really, would Ida get into our starting 11? I'm not sure he would. I'm not sure it's somebody that we would.
Birmingham.
Oh, hey, wait, whoa.
But Birmingham have made a beat the deadline move for Sheffield United defender Jack Robinson from Peter O'Rourke.
Things you love to say. Things you.
Good things come to those who wait. Sheffield United official account. Good things come to those who wait with a shamrock. Danny won't normally do stuff like that with 7 minutes.
Oh, as soon as Danny does it, you know it's done, don't you?
Sheffield United, proper account.
Hang on.
Oh, it's on. It's done. Must be. Good things come to those who wait.
Oh my God. Has anybody seen that video from Ogbenny? Watch that video. Agent Chio. So he's got Ogbenny, who's obviously supposed to be talking to McGuinness on the phone. Hey, I've just signed for Sheffield United. I've heard you're interested. Do you want to join me? I'll show you around. That is appalling. Appalling. But yeah, fair dues. Fair dues. Wow. So late moves for Sheffield United. McGuinness in and Robinson out, most likely. And like Lewis says, if McGuinness is in,
He's excited.
I think that rules out Ben Mee. I think Ogbenny rules out Redmond. I certainly think Ogbenny rules out Redmond. And I think you're right, pal. I think you're right. And I think it's disappointing if we don't get Ben Mee. I'm not going to slam the door in it, really, but then you think, how many centre-backs do we want? I'm not entirely convinced. Helen says, new formation, 5-5-1. Playing an extra player. I'm up for that, Helen. Any chance that we get that, I'd... yeah, FX thinks we go 4-4-4. I'm up for that too. Sheffield United Twitter says Woolton. Good things come to those who wait with a shamrock. Love it. Love it. Let's look. My previous opinions about him aside, you back him, don't you, if he's wearing his shirt? Of course you do. 8-1-1 says, well, that's the formation. 8-1-1. Gus in the first one. Yeah, love that.
Yeah, Danny, I've got this one. Don't go to sleep yet. Twitter Blades hearing as many as 4 deal sheets have been submitted to the EFL.
Shut the front door. Does that mean in? It doesn't mean in, does it? It can't, because Robbo will be one.
McGuinness.
Yeah, McGuinness will be the other. We won't sign another 2. So, it's 1 out. It's going to be 1 out, isn't it?
It'll be 1 out, 1 in.
So there's going to be 2 out, 2 in. We know that one of the ins is McGuinness and one of the outs is Robinson. Oh,
also,
no. This is speculative. This is us speculating, by the way. If there's 4 deal sheets in, like Danny All doesn't really miss.
Yeah, it isn't Danny All.
Oh, I thought you said it was.
No. You're getting over it. You're getting overexcited.
Oh, well, don't do that. It's got to be... Where's the sauce? Who's the sauce? Give me the sauce.
HP sauce.
Yeah. Come on, Jimmy, you know I have a point. I don't know what your previous point was, Shafted Beats. Sorry, mate, I've lost it. Look, we've had a lot of comments. I can't get everybody's up. But I will get Hatch's up. Another super chat. Thank you, pal. Looks like Jackie Longthroat is off to Brum. Yeah, and look, I'm not going to go to town on that, but it's one that I'll be pleased about because I think from everything I'm hearing, he's not a great influence behind the scenes. And
Stop it, Jim.
I know. I just it's
Just say
I'm pleased. Yeah, okay. I
we've
will.
got
I will.
a
I need to learn.
replacement.
I need to learn. Don't I? I need
All
to learn.
the best.
All the best. All the best, Jack. Thanks for. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for everything.
That's it. That's all you had to say, Jim. Now the rest, that'll do.
I know. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. good.
Gus Slag goes to school in Johnfield, not Driffield. Thank you, mate. Drifield's miles. I know it is. That's why I stopped myself. But I'm from Wakeyana. I'm not overly familiar with geography. Thank you, Dumpling, though, for making me say it out loud again and embarrassing me. Dave Moore would say Sky reporting on the Liverpool deal for Gay. They have until 9 p.m. to get it done. Oh, my word. Did say at 7 o'clock it'll be hard to get through the hour, says GT.
Yeah, there's a Birmingham source an hour ago just arrived at Epic ahead of move to Birmingham City from Sheffield United. More to come. That was an hour ago. That's from a Birmingham lad.
Will says can't honestly say I've seen Ogbenny play loads. Remember seeing him play, but he's already a firm favourite in my eyes with this media. Yeah, he's done a great job with media, to be fair. We all need the look of the Irish at the moment. It says J619. Hope it's a perm, otherwise we have 6 loans and 3 are centre backs. Who was the source, mate, that you saw the 4 deal sheets from?
Oh, I don't know. It's the EPL one, mate. The lads who contacted you earlier.
All right, okay. Yeah, stand down, Alessandro, stand down. Gids tweeted ins and outs. What's Gids tweeting? Let's have a look at Gids. Old Gidsy. Andy Giddins from Radio Sheffield. We have to keep up now with the local boys because
The trouble of having Robinson in your Twitter feed search, obviously you get a few characters.
Yeah.
Tommy Robinson being the main one.
Oh my word.
I know. Yeah.
Joe Ironside. Joe Ironside signed for Tranmere Rovers. Ex-Blade and Blades fan, I believe. No, there's no from Gids, I don't think. No from Gids that I can see.
Oh, there we go, Sheffield United. Don't worry, Joe, he's here.
It's okay, Joe. I'm on my way. I'm the Blades. It's okay, Joe. I'm on my way. I'm the Blades.
The
To the New Forest to check.
Okay, Joe.
Sorry.
I'm on my way. Wait, I'm the Blades. It's okay, Joe. On my way. I'm the Blades. It's okay, Joe. I'm on my way.
all right, I've heard it. Disgraceful. Let's hope they're better players than they are actors, because we'll need that.
It's okay, Gio. I'm on my way.
It's okay, of the Blades. Says the ex-Wednesday. I love that. Love that. A bit of housery, a bit of poo housery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, mate. I had an ET. I might have to go.
Yeah, mate. We can't be on for much longer, can we? Let's see if I can get to end it. You can go whenever you like, mate, and I'll.
Well, if we've kept aiming, mate, and again, we're not counting any chickens because I don't want to get anyone too excited, but feels good. Feels good to me. Feels
Yeah, it
all
does.
right.
It does. The vibes are feeling better, aren't they already?
Vibes. Good vibes.
Good
Yeah,
vibes.
Yeah, try and be positive, Blades. I've enjoyed it. It's been all right, hasn't it? With a bit of excitement towards the end. You never know what's real and what's not, but yeah, it feels like we've added a few good ones there. So happy days.
Do you know
Don't
what,
be worried
mate?
about too much what we haven't got. Be looking at what we have.
I
Somebody
think
who knows how to set a team up can take us forward.
I think I'm going to join you. You know, I think I'm going to join. Oh no, I'll let you go. I'll do another 5 minutes or so. The famous last words in it, but
Mate, you'll be on here at 11 o'clock.
No, I won't.
Deal sheet. There's a deal sheet. And,
no, but there's a lot of people commenting. I want to get through them if I can, but it's through some of them. But yeah, I'll let you go, mate. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. And I'll be seeing you very shortly anyway, won't I? So no doubt we'll be on screen together in the coming days.
We'll be together again.
Yeah, see you, mate. See you. Top man. So we've got to clip that up, by the way. Right, let's get to the last few little bits then, because I don't think there'll be much more to talk about. As Rich said, I've lost his comment. Think some of the deal sheets are going to be loans out, Marsh, etc. That makes more sense, doesn't it? That makes more sense. You immediately panic and think, worst case scenario. But anyway, I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better already. Doug says Jimmy, it's on Football 11. He's signed up all the Rambles, up the Blades. That's McGuinness, isn't it? 4-year deal. He's signed on a permanent. Oh, he must have done, I suppose. We've used all his loan spots, haven't we? Oh. Yes. McGuinness signs. Sheffield United have completed the signing of Luton's centre-back, Mark McGuinness. United have paid an undisclosed fee for the 24-year-old. And he signs a 4-year deal with the Blades. I didn't realise he were as young. That's the first thing I'll say. I think he looked slightly suspect last time we played Chef Wednesday. That's the thing that stands out to me more than anything. But let's see. Let's see what he can do. And still a young lad, really. At 24 for a centre-half. Not yet coming to his prime. I'd rather try and get excited about it than immediately be down on it. But I didn't realise... I'd not even computed that it could be a permanent. And I don't know why, because obviously it's going to be with the amount of loans we've got. Otherwise, you mess about with your match day squad, don't you? So, thank you, Mark Meldrew. He's rightly saying, I'm not commenting on McGuinness till I've seen him play. Hopefully Gus stays and some fans have what they want with Robbo. Oh, here he goes. Here he goes. Yeah, I'm not going to go down that road again. I'm not going to go down that road again because 4-year deal, how much we paid. Does it matter if we're building a squad full of assets? Yes, it does. It's not for us to concern ourselves about, I suppose, to a degree. Because I don't think you can win sometimes with that sort of thing. Unless we've gone in for an absolute steal. Then if we end up coming out and saying we've paid $6 million for him and people think he's nowhere near worth it, then we'll just look at what a big fee or an alleged big fee did to Tom Cannon. It didn't go down well, did it? So, yeah, we've no idea whether it's 1.5 or 6.5, have we? And that's fine. That's fine for me. Gay to Liverpool off. Oh, it's breaking news on TV. Oh my word. Oh my word. PSV didn't sell the midfielder they thought was going up the Blades. No, they didn't. They said they were it's like a house move, isn't it? I suppose. We've talked about it being dominoes, but it's like a house move. So if one link in the chain breaks, the whole thing collapses. And that's what's happened here. The Veerman to Brentford didn't happen. And that was the last link, really. Isak to Liverpool was the first move. Newcastle need to replace Isak. They wanted Wisser from Brentford. They've got him, or they're in the process of getting him. Brentford then needed to replace Wisser, and they wanted Veerman from PSV. And the next move in the chain was going to be to replace Veerman. PSV were going to get Gus Hamer. And that they've put no, we're not doing that Veerman move. He's staying with us. They've put the kibosh on it. Okay. Tanganga FC. Hamer's been spotted at Leeds training ground. They've submitted the deal sheet. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced, if I'm honest. Rich says we beat Ipswich this signing. He's tall and will be great. A great partner for Tanganga. That's going to be the team, isn't it? That's going to be... Now, Bindon comes out. Bindon drops out of the side. McGuinness goes in. Okay. That's what we're going to have to get used to. And again, I'm going to have to watch him properly now. Haven't rated him from afar. But we'll watch him properly for the Blades. We'll give him a chance like we should be doing with everybody. Max says, who's been a member for 23 months. Thank you, pal. When are we reverting to a 7-3 formation? There's only one Mark McGuinness, says Steve. Absolutely right. Why not? McGuinness is on the Blades page now. Lewis says they don't feel like AI data-driven signings these, do they, Jim? No, We know whose list they're working off as well, don't we? That's been heavily reported. Bob says, Sky News, deals to be announced. Harry Wilson to Leeds. I think that's much more likely now at this stage than Gus Hamer to Leeds. Didn't Luton pay 8 to 10 million for McGuinness? I think it was 10. Still only 24. Great signing and a permanent. Yeah, if you look at it in context, whether I've rated him on the odd performances I've seen or not, I think you also have that in the back of your mind. He's supposed to be a £10 million player in what we're looking at, like a lot of us have done with Tom Cannon, which it wasn't actually 10 million for Cannon, which we've talked about as well. But sometimes you see a price tag and you think you set your high expectations, don't you? Well, he might have come in for £3 million for all we know now. They might have cut the losses on him. Might be 5. We don't know. But we've got a £24 million. We've got a 24-year-old player who was once signed for £10 million or up to £10 million, and he's our permanent player now. So, and he's likely going to come straight into our first team. So that's a. So the team now, as it stands, is Cooper in goal, permanent. Godfrey at right back, loan. Tanganga, permanent. McGuinness, permanent. Burrows, permanent. Matos and Peck, potentially, or Arblaster, both permanent. Right wing, Ogbeni, loan. 10 Hamer, permanent. Louis Barry, loan on the left. And Campbell, permanent up top. So that's what, 3 loan signings? Ogbeni, Godfrey, Barry. 3 loan signings in our 11. The other 8, who are really strong players at this level, are ours. What you can't do now, just on reflection really, you cannot say that not just the manager, but the board have invested this window, haven't they? Significantly now, I think it's fair to say. There's been more spent, even though a lot of them, or well, the majority of them, will be undisclosed. We have spent more money than we have brought in. That it's good. It's really good. Particularly if we've kept Gus. And we don't know that for sure yet. It's really good. And it's all over to Sayers now, and his coaching team. It's all over to Sayers to make this work, because he's got the tools. He's got the tools to make this work now. Bindon sits out. He's on the bench. Who's the other lone boy? Samari sits out on the bench. Because he won't. If they're bringing Matos in for a big fee, he's going to play. He's shown that he likes to play Sidi Peck over Samari anyway. So yeah, Matos and Bindon on the bench. Wow. Okay. There's no tweet saying it's done yet. It says, Will. DT says, I'd like to have signed a better reserve keeper. If I'm honest, that's idealistic, I think. But you're right. You're right. We do need better than Adam Davis. And I don't mean this in a nasty way, because everything you hear about Adam Davis is fantastic. His attitude is great. There's no negativity in and around him or ever, because he's settled for number 2, hasn't he? And to remain motivated and competitive and fit and sharp, knowing that you're not going to be starting every week, must be quite difficult at times. But he's done exactly what's required of him. The problem is when he has to play, and it's not because he's a terrible goalkeeper, because he's not a terrible goalkeeper. He's an average, or perhaps a good to very good League One goalkeeper. And in Michael Cooper, you've got a very, very good Championship goalkeeper, potentially a Premier League goalkeeper. The best in the league, I think. And the drop-off is what you notice significantly for me. Ridiculous team, says Chip Butty. I agree. Natalie says, Ings, Tanganga, Chong, etc. Hats off, brilliant signings. Now it's time to show the tactics, if he has it or not. Agreed. Completely agree, Natalie. Completely agree. Or Chong permanent on the left. Yeah, that's true as well. Chong permanent signing. It's crazy, isn't it? Club said McGuinness is the latest signing. Any more to come? Don't you do this. I've got a family to see. Don't keep me. Let me just see what United have said here. Do not Don't tempt me. Don't be dangling carrots. They haven't all. They've worded it like that. Mark McGuinness is the latest transfer deadline day capture after the Blades agreed an undisclosed fee with Luton Town for his services. The latest, not the final, like you would say if it was done and dusted. What? And surely, look, I mean, it doesn't have to be. If we sign another player tonight, it doesn't have to be a permanent. It could be a 6th loan, which we've done before. We did it last season with Wilder. It's never ideal because you can only have 5 in your match day squad. So the likelihood is it's a permanent deal if there's another deal to come. What is going on at Sheffield United? What about Chong? Is he permanent? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. What a squad for the new manager to work with, says the FX Autopilot. Absolutely right. TC says club page saying he's the latest deadline day signing, not the last with McGuinness. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Luke says you can question the owner's decisions, but you can't question their commitment. Well said. I think that is absolutely bang. That sums it up perfectly, doesn't it? Because a lot of us are questioning their decision to firstly sack Chris Wilder, and yeah, we said his name again. But also, that's done and dusted. We accept that has been a decision that they made, whether we agree with it or not. That was a huge decision that they made, and you question it. The appointment of Ruben Selles was a gamble. It's not worked. And now you question the longevity that they give that. The sort of, how long do they give him? That's the question now. It's not the initial appointment. It's the how long, when everybody sees it's not working, how long do you give it before the inevitable happens? And that's truly how I believe it to be. Their commitment to this, though, for those that accuse them of asset stripping, I mean, if anybody's in the comments now that accused them of asset stripping, I would be really keen to hear what your thoughts are now. It's not to call anybody out. It's not to say, haha, you were wrong, because that's never what we're about. Do you still feel that that is the case, that these owners are asset stripping us? Because the proof is clear that that's not been the case. It may be that this has been, I think there's been an element of panic this window, and we have quickly moved strategies, quickly changed it due to the terrible performances on the pitch, and we know we have to flood this squad with more quality. What else can the owners do other than sack the manager? And they've done that. They have done that. They have backed us with their wallets. And yeah, we haven't gone out and signed David Brooks or got another, this season's Morgan Gibbs-White, which was the loan of the season in the Championship when he came and all this. We haven't gone out and got massive blockbusters, but I think Tanganga's a real statement signing at centre-half. The best, top 3 centre-half in this league for me. I think Ogbenny's a good statement signing. I think Ben Godfrey's a bit of a, not like a wow, but Ben Godfrey's a really strong signing at the level. Mark McGuinness coming in it's a statement in a different way, I would say, because he's previously gone for a lot of money, and we've now brought him in as a permanent player. Matos investing in young players from a strong pedigree at Chelsea, but then sprinkling in that experience that we needed as well with Danny Ings. I think Danny Ings is a really shrewd signing. Like I said, Chong's going under the radar a little bit. I know Luton fans were hot and cold on him, to be polite about it. But there's loads to be excited about with this squad of players. We bottom at league. We can't get away from that. It's not working for us at the minute. But in terms of giving us the tools, I think the owners have done that. Mark says, last thing I'll say is we've signed 3 players who got relegated from the Championship. I think fans feel right to feel underwhelmed. I will judge them once I've seen them. Fingers crossed they're successes. I know, mate. And to be honest, I mean, there are people, and I don't mean to tar Mark with this brush, because he'll come on and say it himself. I think he's a self-admitted pessimist in a lot of situations. Doesn't mean he's not optimistic about anything. And I don't mean to judge you, mate, and you can feel free to come on and correct me, but you are more cautious and pessimistic at times than others. But other people will feel like this as well. Other people will feel like, look, they're not the name players that I wanted us to sign. But I think there'll be more people tonight optimistic about particularly keeping Hamer as well. That's a huge statement. I think we said at the very start of the window I expected Vinny and Anel to go, and as long as we kept Hamer and Cooper, that was going to be decent for our window. Whatever incomings we looked at, because we knew we'd strengthen. But if we could keep hold of Gus Hamer, the best outfield player in the league, or the best player in the league, as he was voted last year, and Cooper, who we rate, or most of us rate as, if not the, certainly one of the best goalkeepers in the league, then that is a really strong foundation to build on this season. And we've done that. It appears as though we've done that. I think it's exciting. I don't think it's necessarily something to get carried away with this manager, and I have to say that. But Natalie says Chong's so underrated. Luton fans will tell you different, because I've spoken to a lot of them, and they are laughing that we've got him. But I've seen what you've seen, Natalie. I've seen him in flashes, and it might be highlights, but it's not like YouTube clips. It's in game. We've seen him against us be a real threat. When he played for Birmingham, I thought he was a really strong player for us. I don't think he's been quite the same player since he joined Luton, but there's certainly a player in there, and he's young enough to grow with us, isn't he? I think they're smart signings. Smart signings. Let's have a look. Alessandro says, set up for defensive, scrappy 1-0 wins in a 7-2-1 counter-attacking formation. O'Hare and Hamer behind Ty or Ings. I think he'll stick with the same formation. And in that formation, like we've just gone through, I think it's a really good side at the level. It's just how they play the formation, isn't it? Because formation isn't everything, it's the style. Nige says, not one person can say that the board haven't invested. Skint my backside. Yeah, absolutely right. Steve says, nothing whatsoever mentioned on any Leeds news deadline regarding Gus. Really good. Really good. Dom says, we were told discussions had been made on Ben Mee and Nathan Redmond, and they were both different. We were told that. Doesn't mean that there were either both. It was one was offered and one wasn't. I interpreted that as one could have been offered a playing contract, one could have been offered a player coach. Because you've got to sometimes look a little bit deeper than that. Excuse me, but I was also under the impression at the time that Nathan Redmond had been kiboshed because Chong became available. So I thought it was going to be Redmond no contract offer, Mee contract offer. But does this McGuinness decision and purchase, essentially, does that scupper Ben Mee? Because in terms of centre halves, this is just going to have to be off the top of my head. We've got Tanganga. Godfrey can play there, but I'm classing him as a right back for now. Tanganga, Bindon, McGuinness. Oh, actually, who else have we got now? Let's get team up, just so we can do it properly. He signs on deadline day. You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it. Because Robbo's going as well, so that complicates things as well. Tanganga, Bindon, Zetterstrom, Bindon, McGuinness. I think that's it. So would you have 6? Would you have 6? I thought it might have meant that Zetterstrom could go out on loan maybe and get some minutes potentially, but we might be moving to a 3 at the back. Who knows? Who knows? Matt says, here the one more coming in is Ben Mee. Ben Mee can be done after today because he's a free transfer, Matt. So it might be. It might get announced. Might be me. But it's not necessarily a deadline, one that needs to be done on deadline day. It don't need to be a deal sheet submitted or anything like that because he's a free transfer. What's happened to Wu? Don't know. Went very cold, didn't it? After hearing it was drifting a little bit. I didn't really, to be honest, after the experience I had online after talking about some of the Gus conversations that were had, which I think has now been vindicated, I would like to say. And the stick I got for that, I just distanced myself from talking to people about it and asking anybody about things. So I haven't really chased any updates, and everything I've spoken to you about, I've either been given, offered up without me asking, which does happen a lot anyway, but from people that I trust, or it's just, bits and bats that that has actually happened, and we've just talked about it as and when it's happened. So I just distanced myself, Tom. So I don't know the honest answer as to why that deal didn't come off. There were other teams interested, obviously. Might be something we revisit, but I think we're stocked now. If you class Godfrey as a right back, and you class obviously Sariki is the competition at that right back, I don't think we need. I'm not saying it wouldn't have been an improvement as the most orthodox right back that we would have had, no doubt. But there you go. Blade Gaff says United's X page announcing McGuinness as the latest. Sorry, I know a lot of people have said that, but I'm just randomly picking some of these names out that haven't had a comment read. Mark McGuinness has signed. Is a Blade I'm seeing, says Nath. Yeah, that's right. Bryce says, does Betis change the message he was going to give now that the window is closed? Change the message he was going to give? I don't know. It's widely expected, and we've spoken about this before. It's widely expected now that Steve Betis will come out now that the window's closed and speak to the media, likely conducted by Radio Sheffield, which has been done previously and done very well through the club's website. So maybe that happens again. And hopefully it does, because Steve Betis speaks very well. He's a very important figure behind the scenes, and he's often the fall guy for a lot of the negativity that goes on. Some fans just sort of point the finger at him without really knowing what he does. And I didn't know what he did an awful lot until I got a little bit closer. And I think he does a lot of really good things for the club. He's done a lot of really positive moves, and we're lucky to have him, I think, personally. So I'll be interested to see what he says, because he'll no doubt be asked about Ruben Selles if he's still in charge when he does this interview. They might push it back a little bit. They might push it back after Ipswich, after Charlton, if a decision's been made. And then they can talk openly about it, can't they? In terms of, look, we made this decision as a club. This is the direction we wanted to go in. It was a difficult decision at the time to, remove Chris and all this sort of thing, which he'll undoubtedly say. And then it might be a case of, look, we're going to change it, rather than while it's still going down, maybe when it levels out, if they make a decision to sack him, maybe that's when Betis talks and tries to pick things up again. I think that's probably most likely to happen. Staying live till Gus is confirmed as staying. I don't know how long. I don't plan on being live for much longer. I'm not sure my camera will last much longer, to be honest. I left it rolling last night rather than turning it off without realising. So it could run out of battery at any time. So I might be beaten by technology rather than anything else. Tanganga is an unbelievable signing, says Tom. Paired up with McGuinness will be R8. Long way to go. Yeah, I agree. I think certainly Tanganga. I'm really excited by him. Really excited. Lee says cheap signings. Do we know that? Tanganga's not a cheap signing, and I bet McGuinness isn't a cheap signing either. Loans, reduced wages, offset income, nothing to get giddy about. Come end of the season when they've gone, barring Tanganga, we'll look back on this and see panic. Right, okay, so let's go through who's a permanent signing. I'll give you Polendikov. Tanganga's a permanent signing. Nils Zetterstrom, yes, he's more of a prospect than anything else, but Godfrey's the one that will go back. Bindon will go back, but not a lot of people at the moment will cry about that. That's no reflection on him particularly, but I don't think he's pulled up any trees. Tanganga, obviously the huge statement, probably of the window. But Nils Zetterstrom has come in permanently. Alex Matos has come in permanently from Chelsea. They wanted 10 million quid for him when he was well in contract. We've probably got him for in and around 4 or 5 million quid. We've certainly invested in him in that respect. Ukaki's come in. I'll take that as a cheap development signing. I think that's fair. Chong's come in on a permanent deal, up to 3.5 million quid from what I'm hearing. I think that's decent. Ings on a permanent deal. I think he's smart. 1+1. Yes, it's economically smart. He's saying it's a cheap deal. I think he'll be on decent wages, but I think it's a smart deal in favour of the club. And McGuinness now signing. And obviously these loans that have come in, Ogbenny and Godfrey, they are coming in for a pretty penny. You can bet that as well. Ogbenny will still be on huge wages. Godfrey, we know, is on huge wages. So I don't think we've cut many. To say all the loans went back and we've only sold Anel and Vinny to what we know at the moment. We are supposed to be making savings. We are supposed to be cutting the budget for the parachutes that we've lost. So I think that's unfair, Lee, personally. And look, I know we disagree on several things, but I love that you can come on and have these opinions. It's what we're about, isn't it? I know why Ruben is signing all these centre halves, says Lewis. He likes to play with 4. It's like having a wall for a free kick, but all the time in open play. Like and subscribe to the Best Blades fan channel. Thank you, mate. Carlos says, rumours have it we still have one more player to be announced. Who do you think it'll be? I have got no idea. Honestly, I have got no idea. Just trying to think if any names got mentioned to me that... Because I don't think it's a free. I don't think it's a free because you don't need to announce Ben Mee now. Because it can be done after. Even if it were Redmond, it's the same scenario. Were there anybody that we were rumoured to be in for? That I'm aware of? Because as I say, I've distanced myself over the last couple of days. I thought I'm certainly not going to be alluding to anything on X like I got screamed at for doing. Okay. No, we'll wait and see. We'll roll with the punches and enjoy the ride, won't we? Hang on. Joe says, I've got a feeling it's someone whose name we've not seen linked yet. Well, McGuinness came out of nowhere, didn't it? Just a few hours before he signed, McGuinness came out of absolutely nowhere. Max Mighty White says, sounds mad this window from a Leeds fan. It does, mate. It's crazy, and it's great for us in terms of not just excitement for the day and the window itself. It's good that we're strengthening and actively strengthening and bringing in permanent signings. I'm pleased with this. Can't say any other. I feel for Leeds United, not massively, to be honest, but having no signings, no notable signings on deadline day when you know you need somebody is... Paul says Hamer to Leeds isn't happening. Graham Smith confirmed Wilson off and no more incomings. Us Leeds fans are in meltdown. There you go. There you go. Walton says, I can see Robinson leaving. Maybe Zetterstrom going to the under-21s. Zetterstrom will play in under-21s, undoubtedly, but I'd like to have seen him go out on loan if he's going to be that far down the pecking order. Because he'll be behind Bindon now as well, with McGuinness coming in. So, yeah, interesting. Louis says, oh, thank you, mate, for the super chat. Rate shift Jimmy Ramble, 2 hours in. It's fun, though, isn't it? It's just doing what we're all doing, pal. And I'm just talking rubbish to you about it. It's not work. Is it possibly Jay De Silva for left back, says Ian. Man Mountain mentioned him while he were on stream with us, but couldn't then find the source again. So didn't know where it had come from. Again, we always try and say, check the sources, because Solomon's Palace, yeah. All Leeds have signed at Wilson, says Rye. Some Leeds fans are saying different, but fair dues. Danny Hall has tweeted again. Let's see what Danny Boy's saying now. Messaged me again yesterday, Danny. Thank you, mate. I appreciate you checking in. Hearing from the Leeds end that their window is done and dusted. Breathe a sigh of relief for now. Ooh. That is unbelievable. Oh, my word. Sheffield United have tweeted again. Just now. Not another one? What is going on? What is going on? Sheffield United have just tweeted. Not another one. Oh, there's another one coming in. So Hamer stays. That is the latest. Danny Hall's saying that he's hearing from all these Leeds contacts that they have not managed to get a deal over the line. Rich is saying Cadamartri. Can you imagine? Can you imagine Bailey Cadamartri coming in from them over the other side? Their hotshot striker prospect coming in and signing for Sheffield United. Crossing the city. Surely not. Raksaki was mentioned. Raksaki from Mindful Horses. Brandon Walker said same. Elmsey says surely Raksaki would have been leaked by now. I don't think it's Raksaki. And to be honest, look, we've got Ogbenny now, so we won't sign Raksaki. Raksaki has undoubtedly got untapped talent that I don't think we got the best out of last year. but he's not a grafter. He's not a grafter, and I think we need people who are going to put it in. That's another one that it might be. Active Life Physio says Cian Ashford. Cian Ashford at Cardiff were mentioned. I love this. I love this. Giddings reported MG, no? MG, no? What are you talking about? MG. Don't say woo. No, it can't be woo. Another one? More. You're joking. Can you imagine? I nearly went off. I nearly stopped the stream thinking we were done. Oh my word. Oh my word. What is going on here? We've just tweeted again. Someone else is coming. I'm refreshing United page and I cannot get anything. What are you doing to me, United? Looking good for me and Woo, says John. Me, as I say, don't expect me today. I don't expect me today because it can be done afterwards. Benson was mentioned too. No, it won't be Benson. It won't be Benson. I know he's left-footed. He's predominantly plays on the right, and we've signed Ogbenny. Ogbenny will be the right winger. Let's think. Before it comes up, let's guess what position it could be. So, a lot of people have said right back, but I'm considering Ben Godfrey a right back. So I think Godfrey starts at right back and Sariki supports him. We certainly don't need any other centre halves. A reserve goalkeeper wouldn't be a deadline day wow, which I think this will be. It's like a late necessity to get somebody in, and I don't think that's how we see it. Won't be the goalkeeper. Left back, I think the club feel content with Burrows and McCallum. Could be wrong, but I think the club feel content. The manager certainly rates McCallum. He's had minutes this season already. I'm just refreshing again. So the defence, I think, is set. We're not done yet. Somebody already... Oh, hang on. So it's a white guy. He's been wearing the number 15. He looks like he runs like Raheem Sterling. He's got his arm up like that. He's carrying his handbag. But blue boots, blue and white boots. It's not Cadamartri. He's got a scar on his right knee. Come on, detectives. Come on, detectives. Let's have a look. Let's have a look, see if anybody's got it just from the picture. Definitely Ben Mee, that 100%, says Nige. Scott says it's a striker. Ramaman says it looks like Ben Mee. This would be interesting because we don't need to announce it today. But I'm all for it. I'm all for it. We need a good CDM. We're hoping that's Matos, I think, Paul. But we'll see. It's Ben Mee. Ben Mee, says Dodgy Motson. Looks like we've got a favourite. Does Ben Mee wear blue and white boots? We need some new boots if that's the case. Number 15 he's been wearing in training. So Bindon was a waste of a loan. Super positive, Jack. It's not super positive, but you're not far wrong, pal. Come on. They look like older fella's legs. It's chopped him off from the chest downwards. For many that's seen it. Mark McGuinness says John. No, Mark McGuinness has been announced, pal. So we've got one more. Didn't have that knee scar. It's probably Bannon knowing us. Andy says surely Ben Mee. SUFC shorts, number 15. Has to be someone training with us. Or doing the medical, Andy. Or doing the medical. But I agree. I think it's more likely to be someone that's done it. Bamford, behave yourself, Scott. Ben Mee, says Tanganga FC. Oh. No, it's not Solomon. It's not Solomon. Kipper's saying it's Bamford. Kipper, the Leeds fan. It's a training picture, isn't it? 15 centre backs. Right, somebody needs to list me all the centre backs we've got at the club. Just in one comment, and we'll get it up and we'll talk about it. Ben Knee. Yeah, it could be Ben's knee. Definitely me, says Zonny. Billy. It's me, Bri. It's me. Jim, you better get Mark McGuinness Oh, my mountain back before your camera turns off, says Rich. He were off to have his tea, I think. He ain't got the commitment. What can I say? Tom says, Jimmy, I don't want to be negative, but I don't see any change happening with Sayers in charge. Tom, I don't think it lasts long, pal. I don't think it lasts long. I think we are preparing a team, a squad that is really strong at the level. And that is ultimately what you need. The most important person at a club is the manager, in my opinion. But I think that will change it will definitely change if results don't. So, right. Half of me, I'm not going to lie, half of me wants the actual tweet to say, and in our final signing or our final bit of business for the night, because that means I can go see my family then. But it could be the latest signing of the day. You never know with United. Not today anyway, you don't. Paul Pogba? Yeah, it could be Paul Pogba. Yeah, looks very similar. Max says Ben Mee, if it's Ben Mee. Godfrey, who I think he's a right back, but we can class him as a centre half. Tanganga, Zatterstrom, Bindon and McGuinness. So they are our options to use at centre half. Robinson's still at the moment, if you still class him as that. 6. Are we going 3 at the back? Or does Bindon get sent back? Or is Godfrey definitely a right back and we've got 5? Still refreshing. No happening. Tanganga, Godfrey, Bindon, Robbo. Robbo's gone on. Sasnaukas, not really. Fez says, putting a rate shift in tonight, Jimmy lad. Up the blades, up the ramble, like and so. Thank you, mate. It's been more organic than it has planned, I'll be honest. It's not, I didn't think I'll come and sit on here for 2.5 hours. But, you know, it's one of them, innit? It's a transfer deadline day. I normally come and sit in my yellow tie. But, yeah, I haven't done tonight. Ogbeni interview was great, says Dave Vinter. Speaks really well. I agree. We talked about that earlier, pal. I don't know if you caught it, but let's hope he slots into the team. Looking forward to Ipswich now. Manager has no excuses now. Up the blades, up all the rambles. Playing 6 at the back. See you, Bindon, says Jack. Lee says another player looking for a payday. Don't panic, Mr. Mainwaring. Have we had a better deadline day, says Alessandro. It's a good day, innit? It's a good day. The T-Rex stance, I call it, Jimmy. Yeah, it is a T-Rex stance, isn't it? Not that that's a very good T-Rex impression. I'm just a little bit giddy. Come on, United. They're going to do it on the bang on 1:30, aren't they? Yeah, it'll be announced at 1:30, says the dumpling. Certainly will. Obviously, the last signing will have nothing to do with scoring goals. Obviously. That's right. Don't. It's not Ozzy. It's Mark Gay. Yes, it is. It looks just like him, actually. That's why the deal fell through to Liverpool. He's coming to Sheffield United. Of course he is. When you have stopped getting giddy over a 35-year-old defenders who are going to score some goals to get us off bottom. Oh, Chirac. Nice to see you back to your usual self, pal. Our poor fax machine is red hot, says Chris. Can we send Bindon back, says John. I know Chelsea and Sunderland have just done a deal where they've sent one of their loan players back. I'm sure it'll be some financial implications to it. But, yeah, 3-4-3 formation. It's doable, but it's unlikely, pal, to be honest. 3-4-3 formation, yeah, we've been calling for that. I think it's something that a few of us would like to see. Just seen Ben Mee picture from when he was at Burnley doing the T-Rex stance. Everybody do the Ben Mee. Go on, Ben Mee. Love a bit of this. Love a bit of T-Rex. Go on, Ben Mee. John Egan. He did like a bit of T-Rex. Did Eags at times. That's fair. Is it Machin? Says Chaz Epic. No idea who that is. Ibrahimovic could be. Could be. Do we think? Ollie says, do we think Benny will be eligible to play against Ipswich with them being his parent club? No. Bri agrees. He don't think it was the same. Yeah, it's definitely Brownhill. It could be Josh Brown. It's not Josh Brownhill. Don't anybody get their hopes up for Josh Brownhill. He's not coming to bottom of the league, Sheffield United. 28 I make it on my phone. Got to be a striker, last off. I would be crying out for a striker had Tom Cannon gone. And I know not everybody rates Tom Cannon, but had Tom Cannon gone, I think we're in desperate need of a third striker. Because at the minute we've got, I know some class at One, but we've got Tyrese and we've got Ings, both who have had injury problems throughout their career. And I think we needed somebody to replace Tom Cannon if he'd have gone to Preston. Doesn't look like he's going, or doesn't like he's gone in time. Delap's injury has him out 6 weeks minimum, so Yi was recalled from Sunderland. Yi, I can't remember. I don't know how you pronounce his name, to be honest. Blade Running says, "What an exciting deadline day! Once we sort out that defence, when the creative juices will, then the creative juices will float in midfield. Hamer and Peck sauce anyone? Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Hamer and Peck in a 2 don't work for me. I'm excited to see what Matos can bring to the middle of the park. Hopefully, some defensive stability alongside Peck, maybe. Or I think he's better at that role than Hamer and O'Hare at being a little bit more solid. He's certainly not his wheelhouse. And maybe Hamer in front. Maybe Hamer in the 10. And I feel for Callum O'Hare, but it's a squad game, isn't it? Can you imagine Wilder in the pub moaning, they never let me sign this money? Yeah, me too, Will. Me too, pal. Anybody yet? 2029. James McAtee on loan from Forest? Don't think so. Looks like Ronaldo to me, says Dom. It could be. Ronaldinho, it's a good shout. It's a good shout. Yeah. Brownhill wanted over 150k a week, especially since he already turned down 100k from Leicester. It wasn't 100k from Leicester. I think it was 100k that were being offered from Saudi, weren't it? It's all about me. It's all about me. Ben Mee. Oh, you love to see it. Right, this is a really important signing for Sheffield United. Ben Mee. Hopefully they'll say it completes our business for today, because I'm tired. But do not underestimate what impact this could be. Firstly, his playing career is exemplary in terms of he's played predominantly in the Premier League for his career. He has had stints in the Championship, I believe, but predominantly in the Premier League. He has been captain of his clubs, from what I understand. He's certainly a leader. He's somebody who can organise, something that we are so lacking as a club. We have been lacking leadership and character in our play. We need someone to organise, particularly this young defence as well. He doesn't have to play. He may not be the player that was, he was 5 years ago even. Well, he won't be, will he? Let's be right. He might not even be match fit. He might have kept the club have said he kept himself really fit. That's great. It's never the same as playing minutes. We'll have to get him that. If we still stick with the back 4, this is what I expect to happen now because of the business we've done today. I expect to go with that back 4 still that we talked about. What I also expect is me likely to be named club captain. This is what I'd do personally. It's, who am I? It's just an opinion. I would name Ben Mee club captain. I would let him be the culture carrier in the dressing room, as Wilder used to call it. I would let him set the tone of the club, what we're about, get people to buy into whatever it is we're trying to do as a club, because we do need some rebuilding. And then in games when it's tight and we want to move to a 3 at the back, or we want to, change it up more offensively and move to a 3 at the back, or just change things around, he's the perfect man to slot into the middle of a 3 mid-game. Or even if we want to set up that way from the start once he's fit. I think this is such a clever signing for the club, and so necessary. So necessary. The character and leadership, and he can instill confidence into these young players who are on the floor currently. He can be the man that puts an arm around his teammates and says, come on, do this. And you've seen the impact of Godfrey already, who is one of the more experienced players in the team now. I think he's about 28. But he's talking all the time to his teammates, even from right back. He did when he moved into the middle as well, but he's talking to everybody. You need to go there, drop in there. No, you push up and you do this. We saw a little bit of it from Tanganga in his first game as well, talking to players like, come on, what are we doing here? What's vocal and leading and sticking your head above the parapet. This is what Ben Mee's all about. This is the role that he will play. He will take the reins of helping leaders. He is the first legitimate captain and leader on the playing staff since Billy Sharp. For me, love John Egan. Don't think he's a natural captain, if I'm honest. I think he leads by example, John Egan. It's no dig at John Egan, but he's not a vocal leader. He's the first man since Billy Sharp that we've had in a dressing room that can help self-police the dressing room. Really, really important signing. Really important signing. I am so happy with that. Love it. Love it. Let me just get to people's comments and then we'll see. We'll see what United have to say about it. Because they usually like to leave it to marinate for a little bit. Give it 5 minutes. They like to do things on the half past or on the hour, don't they? But usually it'll be like a solid 5 minutes or 10 minutes before they put the next bit out of media. So we're at 34 now. It might be 35 before they release the text about what he said and stuff like that. Flyover Fred says, I'm a claret. Ben Mee is top. Make him captain immediately. Someone who has lived and breathed Ben Mee. We would have said the same to Donny Rovers about Billy Sharp, won't we? That's the sort of thing that we're talking about. Sean Dash next, says Lee. Yeah, we're not. Don't go to bed yet. Say us out. Pack have pulled the plug on Hamer deal. That's been reported, Jimmy. Ooh. Do you mean PSV? Ben Mee is. Or do you mean the? I don't know. Ben Mee is left-footed too, says Nath. Walton says confirmed too. Daniel Hall says it would be out our 7th centre-back. Rob says fantastic window. Just a shame we've given everyone a head start. Like always, the Blades way. Can Robbo still go, says Chris. Yeah, I believe they've got a deal sheet in with Birmingham. Sheet, I said. Deal sheet in with Birmingham. I think Robbo will go one way or the other. I think that happens. Jamie says these are very wilder signings. Yeah, there's no coincidence around that. It's the keys have been given back to the recruitment team that he appointed. It's his list, essentially, that we've been working very closely with. Rich says, I'm guessing we might hear what we're doing with Redmond. Yeah, we'll possibly hear that, won't we now? 1+1 deal. Yes, love that. Love that. Where's that, Jay? Where's that? Because I can't see it on X. Is that on the club website? Chirac says, nah, man. Tanganga's our captain, leader, and future. Why? Because he's the best defender. Does that make you the captain? I'm not sure it does. Paul Rose of Wellstone Landscapes has been grafting away in my garden today. Thank you, pal. Me, Tanganga, Godfrey, Binden, Matos, Chong, Barry, Samari, Ogbeni, and McGuinness is surely a solid window. That's 10 signings. Me, Tanganga, Godfrey. It is. It's a solid window, isn't it? It's a solid window. Alessandro says, such a dopamine high today. Keep it coming, Blades. More signings, please. Yeah, agreed. Agreed. I don't think there will be any more signings, though, pal. Chris says, charge for the top of the league starts here. Yeah, it won't. Robbo shipped out on his birthday. I think from all the noises, and look, I don't need to go over it, but I think it works for everybody, that, doesn't it? Robbo, I think he will be happy to move on at this stage. I think Birmingham will get a good, solid championship defender. And yeah, I think it suits everybody. I think it suits all parties. He's certainly not getting in now, is he? He's not getting into our side. Yeah, I think it won't be like, oh, we've done him dirty on his birthday. I think he'll be happy about it, if I'm honest. Ben Mee knows how to talk to refs too. A big thing not to be underestimated. Scott says it's got Dyche written all over it. Do not get me all giddy about this. Can you imagine Sean Dyche coming into this team that's being led by Ben Mee? It's the Chris Wilder, Billy Sharp connection at a club again, isn't it? It's the Sean Dyche and Ben Mee. Okay. Don't forget the signing of Ings. Absolutely right, Andrew. Don't forget this. I think Paul included that, didn't he? I think Paul included that. No, he didn't. He didn't. So that's 11. 11 strong signing. Not 11 strong, but Cooler King says, get a new manager in and there'll be no excuses for not bombing up the table. Cooler King, Aston Villa fan, my commiserations to you, pal, at the moment. You'll be absolutely fine. Obviously, you've got your really strong foundations as a club. But always look out for Cooler King's comments. Voice of reason a lot of times that sort of doesn't have the Blades tinted glasses on, so can give us either perspective. And I love that. That's how I feel as well. That's exactly how I feel. Freudian slip there when discussing Robbo out. Jimmy says, Riff, we all heard what you said and it wasn't deal sheet. Yes, it was. It was. North says, if you look at the picture now, Sayers has bought extra time with all these signings. It looks like Sayers and owners had a meeting and he said, give me who I want right now and I'll show you no excuses. Possibly. I don't think we can sort of say for sure that that's definitely what's happened. But the board have certainly said, it's been obvious to anyone that we need reinforcements and we've got them now. We've got them, haven't we? And Zatterstrom as well, 12 signings, solid window with a mix of experience and youth. Yeah, I agree. Scott says, hey, come on, fair play to the owners for that. Yeah, absolutely. Love that me signing, says Dave Morwood. Again, another lad who's been a huge proponent of us signing him. He's a big Platinum Rambler, and often comes on our call-ins as well, so we know what Dave's been thinking about it. Brand says, hi Jimmy, I've noticed Ricky from Just United and Dry Bry barely contribute anymore. Just United alive now. Right, okay. That's up to that. Bry is a huge supporter of the channel. Still a Rambler, still a Platinum Rambler. We still got a triple point with him before the game and stuff like that. So no issues there at all, pal. No issues there. And yeah, a really good lad as well, is Bry. Carlos says, do you think the Blades will announce one more at 8:59? No, I don't. I think that's us done. I'm waiting to see whether. Oh no. Right. So this is United's latest tweet. United have added further steel to the club's defensive ranks with the signing of Ben Mee, who has starred in the top two divisions of English football throughout his impressive career. Nothing about the latest signing, but also nothing about the final signing. What else are we saying? Come on. No, go back. I don't need to know about stadium tours. United Ben Mee put pen to paper at Bramall Lane following a period of training with the Blades, signing a one-year contract with the option to extend. Get in. It's good to finally be a Sheffield United player, having been around the club and the group for the last 2 weeks, said the defender. The atmosphere could be better, but that's because of the results not going our way, and hopefully things are going to turn around. There's a good young group of players here that is full of talent, so hopefully I can add a bit of experience to that. I appreciated the opportunity to come and train here initially, and I've been trying to help around the place. At my age, you just need to carry on to stay fit. I didn't play many games last season, but I was training all season. I was fit and wanted to keep at that level throughout the summer, so coming into a group like this has worked out well. I've come here to get in the team first and foremost, and I obviously want to do well for the group, use my experience and what I've learned to hopefully help this young squad. My hunger is still there. I have a real motivation to train well, live right, and finish my career off positively. Sailborn Mee came through the ranks at Man City, penning his first professional contract at the Etihad in 2007, before captaining City to the FA Youth Cup glory in 07-08. He's featured during the pre-season tour of the US under them. There's a lot of information on what he's done. He will go on to skipper the Clarets after signing permanently for them in 2012. He'd skipper the Clarets and become a multiple promotion winner during his decade at Turf Moor, where he made over 350 appearances, including those he made as a loanee. 3 years at Brentford followed his departure from Lancashire, and after a goal-scoring debut against Man United, he won the Supporters Player of the Year award, ahead of top scorer Ivan Toney in his first season in the capital. Didn't know that. That's brilliant. Former England under-21 international left the Bees in the summer, having scored 5 times in 54 Premier League outings. 5 times. And he's played in 54 Premier League games in 3 years. So a goal every 10 games. Is that right? Yeah. Interesting. Ooh. I love it. I don't think there'll be any more. I don't think there'll be any more. Let's have a look at what everybody's saying. Tweet has not said it's the last deal. Another one at 9 PM. Nothing to say that it's done for the night, says Lee. Read that, Jim, on the Blades page. Read what? Yes, I've just read that on the Blades page, if that's what you're wondering. This season, Chukwu Okaki, and Chukwu was last season, went to last January. Centre backs 10. Wow. Wow players 1. Jack, come on, pal. Helen says, surely it's clean sheets every time now. Oh, you'd hope so. Well, it's United, isn't it? Nat says, everyone on these summer signings will get into any other champ team. Every one of these summer signings will get into any other champ team. Now is the time to shine. No excuse. I'm not sure everyone would. The owners have put the money where their mouth was. Redmond inbound, says Daz. 8:59, just when you thought we were done, says Andrew. Window has to end with a picture of Gus smiling, saying business is done. Oh no, we don't think there's another way. There's another 15 minutes till then. I can't go on till then, surely. Carlos says Birmingham are working on a deal to sign Sheffield United club captain Jack Robinson. Yeah, that might be something we're announcing, might it? That's true. That's very true. Have a look. Me wins a lot of headers, says Fred. He'll do for me. He'll do for me with old Benny boy. If you're fit enough, age is just a birthday certificate, i.e. Sharp and Jags. Sharp's an example that you'd say, up front, it's not really a position that, you know, if you lose possession, it's not end of world, and if you lose out in a 1v1, it's not the end of the world. Defence is a lot more precarious, but then you've given the ideal example of Jags. I think, having said that though, Chris, one of Jags' Jags built his career on being a mobile player, didn't he? I'm going to say centre half, but we know that he's played in different positions, but predominantly he's been a mobile centre half, hasn't he? So the fact that he kept himself so fit allowed him to continue that mobility, which carried him to the latter stage of his career. Ben Mee, I don't think is known to be as mobile. He's more solid, from what I understand. But you're right in a lot of ways. I'm not going against what you say at all. Will Socket says, window has to end. Oh yeah, sorry, we've read that because I were only going to read that because Jamie Dumpling says that'd be nice, but PSV still have an extra day. That's true. Guy Location says, what do you think about Leeds window? It's something we'll probably discuss. This is a nice time to advertise, actually. I'm back on Ramble FC, which is our other channel, on Ramble FC tomorrow night with Callum Fowler, and we have a show called Yorkshire's Finest, and we're going to be discussing every team's transfer window, every Yorkshire team's transfer window, and who's had the best. So I'll probably hold my answer for then. In terms of deadline days, it's been a terrible one, but in terms of your overall transfer window and what I've seen here so far, it's not been bad. I think you needed more, if I'm honest, but I think what you've signed is an upgrade on what you had. Tom says, announce Gus is staying and we can all get off to bed. I know. Go to bed. It's only 8:44, says Mr. F. Yeah, but I've been on. I'm not on about going directly to bed, but I have been on 2 hours, nearly 50 minutes. Who's your main centre back now then? Come on. Jaff. It's all JT, isn't it? I'm not sure of what I see. Yeah, Tanganga. Is it a Tanganga and me, or is it a Tanganga and McGuinness? Look, a fit Ben Mee, I think, he's a tried and tested, proven. And I'm going Tanganga and me for me as well. I think James is right there. McGuinness ain't coming to sit on bench. We'll have paid a pretty penny for I'm going to call him something else then. Paddy McGuinness. For Mark McGuinness. We'll have paid a pretty penny for him. McGuinness tweet said latest, which would imply multiple deals. How many? No, the McGuinness tweet said latest, which is not the last. Not necessarily the last. It's just the one that's the most recent. Whereas the me one doesn't say either way. And now the only thing that we can look for, because when United were teasing the me deal that there's another one, it was when they were questioned on latest ? And then they've quote tweeted it and said Not another one. The meme. So they may react to someone else's tweet if that's what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? If they are doing one more, then maybe that's it. We shall see. We shall see. We shall see. See. Okay, this is a good one from Bran. Also, solid window. Got to get the manager out now. that wasn't necessarily what I meant, but also take my asset stripping comment back. They have shot me down there. Don't like how it's been so late, but I'm glad we got the deals done. Fair play to you, Bran. Fair play to you. And there'll be a lot of others who might not want to come on and say it, and that's fine as well. But a lot of others that were saying about asset stripping, and it's clearly not been the case, has it? Look, I certainly never thought that was the intention. But they might not have been thinking about spending this sort of money, and it might be out of desperation. And it feels like it might be, to be honest, as well. But that is a silver lining to a terrible start to the season, because we've got them now, haven't we? We've got these quality assets in at our football club, and I love it. I absolutely love it. One more incoming on X, says Nat. Where are you seeing that, Nat? Where are you seeing that? Come on, you've got to. You can't just dangle that carrot. United haven't said that. Let's have a look. Would love a Pooh House repost with Gus smiling. Yes, we all would. Dan says, great window, just Hamer to stay and Robbo to leave to top it off. Can you sign free transfers anytime? Yes, you can. There's a different window for free transfers, and there's a lot of time to run on that. Yeah, I think it's another 2 weeks or something like that. It might be even longer. Danny says, best transfer window in an age, and we're now set up for Carrick to come in and push on. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, like and subscribe. Michael Carrick, anybody? Michael Carrick to come in? Now, we mentioned him earlier when Man Mountain and Dave the Nose were on. Underwhelming for them, but would accept it. I think we're all shooting high, aren't we? Or I certainly am, for a Sean Dyche or a Steve Cooper. I think they will be the most popular amongst the fan base, unless you guys tell me differently. But then there's names like Gary O'Neill, Michael Carrick that come into the conversation. And I won't be against that either. I won't be against that. I think they're more hybrids. Rob says, imagine if me's on the phone saying over to Woo. To Woo. Over to Woo. That's an asset. That's the reason Woo has gone quiet. Oh, dearie me. Dylan says he's got a feeling one more deal. I'm not feeling it. Any watch-alongs for international break? Yes, Jamie will be doing... I think I can do one of the two. Pretty sure I'm at a wedding for the second England game, but yes, mate. Yes, and if you want to be part of that, because you've asked me a couple of times, yeah, we'll do it together, mate, if you want. Over on Ramble FC. But there's loads of content coming up of an international break. As I say, I'm on with Cal for Ramble FC. Me and Cal Fowler are doing Yorkshire's Finest tomorrow. I need to firm up a time with him. Wednesday night, well, I don't know about Wednesday. I don't know what days they're going to be because I've got to plumb them in, but we're going to do a Steel City Showdown, hopefully Wednesday Till I Die. That's James from Wednesday Till I Die podcast. That'll be on Ramble FC as well. On the Ramble, we'll be talking sense with Andy the Blade. I also want to do a squad breakdown as to what our squad currently looks like, where I do the ratings of the positions. I want to grade our transfer window. I think it's really important to look at the players we've brought in and some of the players we've let go and give it an overall grade as well. There'll be a 3 Mardy Blades like there is every Sunday where we can make it happen. So yeah, loads of content coming up on the channel. So keep it Ramble. If you're not already and you like what we do, if you give us a like, it'd be much appreciated. You can subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. And tap the notification bell so you'll never miss a Ramble. That's the thing. And if you want to go subscribe to us over at Ramble FC to get more content, not that you have plenty tonight already, and you'll be sick to back teeth of seeing me, then that would be great as well. So thank you. We're trying our best on this channel at Blades Ramble to get to 10k. It's an absolutely unbelievable milestone for us and something that I wanted to do for ages and ages. And I would appreciate, if you're not already and you enjoy what we do, that you join us. One more to come from across the city, says James David Wood. Luke says, I'm going 3 at the back. It suits us best, doesn't it? It suits us best. Absolutely right, it does. Key says, Positioning, not losing possession in the first place stops the worry about age as much anyway, Jimmy. Yes, it does. Yeah, it does. If you are half a step in front in your head, then you can offset that lack of pace, can't you? You being a step slower than you once were. John says, hurry up, not long left to go. Get shut of the back pass, Brooks. Harsh. Bryce says, come on, people, give this man a like for his efforts. Thank you, pal. We've over 1,100 people in here. 3 hours, nearly. So disappointed Cannon's still here, says Chris. And another striker not signed. We only conceded 3 goals in the last 3 games. Scoring goals is the biggest problem. Creating chances for those that score goals, I would say as well. I don't see how we can, and this is just my opinion, Chris, how you can single out Cannon and not Campbell if that is your reasoning. It's not my reasoning, by the way. I think it's creating the chances. How many clear-cut chances has Campbell had as the lone striker? Cannon's been pushed out to the right wing, which I think is crazy. It's not his position. He's never been given a solid run through the middle, in my opinion. I just don't think we're creating enough. And hopefully now with these additions, Ogbenny particularly, maybe Gus a little bit further forward, if it changes anything with the Matos signing, which it could do. I think it's really, and Chong as well, like some people have been saying, as a left wing option to Barry if Barry's not firing. I think it's really positive, potentially. There's some really good stuff. Josh says the same. Surely with all these centre-backs, he's going to a 3. Let me just double check, because there's 5 minutes to go now. Let me check till the 9 o'clock. That everybody's saying it's like been a soft deadline, and now it's the real deadline is 9 o'clock. But we'll see. We'll see if anything's said. No, nothing yet. Get your lads to fetch thee a cup of tea, Jim lad. Might not be it yet. Yeah, sorry, love. I know I said I'd be finished for about 8 o'clock, but bring us a brew, will you? I like being married, mate. I like it. Dan says, let's hope they can now gel. 10 days in, right before Ipswich. 10 days to get in, right before Ipswich. Let's get behind the boys. That's right, Dan. We will, mate. They do it to us every time. You know, we'll now be full of optimism going into. I know we'll all have we'll be guarded because none of us, or the majority of us, don't rate Sayers at the moment. But we'll think maybe these players defy it, and just because they're good enough, and this is these are our boys now. We know that we're set. Certainly for the next few months, this is us. Mr. Magoo says, to be fair, the signings have been class. Would have loved Benson, yeah, and a right back. But Tanganga is unreal. Godfrey, class. I think Sayers needs 5 wins on the bounce or he's gone. Top squad Wilder would smash it. Yeah, he would. He would. I've just got in, says Adam. Have we still got Hamer? Yes, we have. At last we all heard, we've still got the boy. We've still got the boy. I'm not sure we get any more in, you know. Danny Hall hasn't tweeted it's over either, which is interesting, says the JD. But you could look at it both ways. United haven't tweeted saying it's over, but they also haven't said that it's not. You know, there's more to come. Nobody's saying that either. Okay. I'm just having a little look, see if I can see anything. Not really. Let's have a little check of Danny, see what Dan's up to. Should have got Danny on, shouldn't I, really? But I know I'll be a busy man tonight. Somebody's asked him, he said it takes United to 7 centre-backs with the Ben Mee signing. Somebody's asked him, does that include Robinson in the 7? And he's put, I can't remember anymore, to be honest. That's where his head's at as well. So fair dues. Cooler King says, you know it's deadline day when you're poring over the meanings of last and latest. Yes, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Craig says, never seen the Blades in a player quality position since I started going to the lane in the early 70s. Even I could get this team up, but no time for pride. If you don't turn it around now, he has to go now and only. Now and only? I didn't know they were going to finish that off with something there, pal. Jimmy, the dinner's in the dog, mate. This window will never end. Yes. Lee says, yes, just seen a tweet regarding the Blades. Says, oh, Lee, come on then. John says, are these guys assets or panic buys up the Blades, up the ramp? Both, probably. Don't mind which. Because we're strengthening a squad, John. So I don't mind it. Whichever way it's come about, if they see it as an early error, which they're now rectifying, if they think it's a bit of a risky spend, but we're going to have to do it because otherwise we're up the creek, don't mind that either. Rather have Tanganga with us and they overspend a little bit more than they wanted to. Sorry to COH Sports and that. He's our asset now. He's a great player that plays in the red and white. And loads of every team in this division would have taken Tanganga. I know they didn't, but if we'd have waited much longer, which is why I was quite concerned when there was a delay, if there was too much of a delay, then other teams would have swooped because he's that good at this level. So I don't care whether it was buying them to be assets or panic buys, because they are here with us in our squad and they are top class. Maury says, Michael Carrick, yes. Evening to Maury. I hope you're well, pal. Do you think Gus stays now? Jimmy says, Nath, what a window. Started late and strange, but the owners have pulled it out of their bag. Fair play to them. You've got to think Gus stays now. It looks like you don't want to jinx it by saying it too loudly. So, yes, I think he stays. He stays. Luke says, I think that's it. The meaty tweet is now pinned. It's weird, isn't it, how social media little nuances build into your thought process. Not just yours, Luke, but everybody's. If they've pinned the tweet, that's it. That must be it. It's, we're done. It's like the Facebook official that it used to be years ago, weren't it? If you said you were in a relationship with someone on Facebook, then that were it. You were together for life. So, United have tweeted. Not what you think. City Peck has been called up to England's under-21 squad for their European Championship qualifier against Kazakhstan. Congratulations, City. That is purely on last season's performances then. No, congrats to City Peck. Continues to grow with United. Love that. It's probably a little wink to us that he's not going anywhere. I'm not sure. Well, maybe they would have tweeted that anyway, but they know that people are watching the page and they are trying to keep, and it's all part of the fun, isn't it? Have they just tweeted that just to troll us a little bit before another one comes in? It makes you think all these sorts of things, doesn't it? And it's 9 o'clock now and I'm still on. What is going on? No likey, no lighty. Says Matt Costello. Lewis says, I'm going with desperation personally. I don't mind it though. I don't mind it. It's one of them, isn't it? It may well be. Who cares? Who cares? PJ says, I think this transfer window pushes back, brings Sayers until the end of the year. Fire him back until the end of the year. No chance. No chance. If he carries on in this vein, he'll be gone in another. He won't make 3 more games if we lose the next 3. He is on borrowed time, and only a good run of results now changes it for him. Craig says the owners decide that, and look, they've invested significantly, not to sit in the Championship. They've invested because they want a turnaround. It's not we'll accept our fate. This tells me they still believe the season's on, which it clearly is after 4 league games. I think he's on borrowed time, mate. Craig says the owners decide that, and it hangs in the size of their ego, and our season hangs on that. Couldn't get it all on one text. All right, okay, pal. No problem. Portland, Oregon Blazers. Jose Mourinho, please, not Daesh. Wow. Alan says, I like Carrick. It sounds a good option. Carrick's a no for Scott. It's mad, isn't it, that we're on deadline day and talking about which manager could come in rather than players. Carlos says, maybe the Blades will now announce that manager has been sacked and Jose is the final signing. Big Tang. Yeah, no Wu-Tang though. I had loads of Wu-Tang puns that I know it was to me to Woo as well. We're all going to do the Ric Flair woo every time he touched the ball at Bramall Lane. There was so much good content to get out of that. Old Wu-Tang Clan. Anyway, North says we've got to back him now and the team, otherwise it's just self-destruction for all those Blades. Let's not forget we're the 12th man. Emmanuel Dennis is a free agent, ex-Forest, so potentially that could be done any time, pal, like we've said. Any free agents can be done at any time. Andrew says, Cooper, me, Tanganga, Godfrey, Burrows. Oh, sorry, this is your team, isn't it? I don't mean to rush through it. That's your back 4. Oh, no, you're back 3. Me, Tanganga, and Godfrey as the back three. Yes. Me in the middle, probably. Oh no, me's the left footer. Me on the left. Tanganga in the middle. Godfrey on the right. Sariki and Burrows as your wing backs. Peck and Samari. I go Peck and Matos. Hamer. Then Campbell and Ings. That is saucy. That is a naughty little formation. That, Andrew. Club released a video. It looks like Wilder driving a taxi, taking a pickup at the lane. Behave yourself. You behave yourself. Hamer's locked in the dressing room. Don't let him out. Don't let him out. And I'm not sorry. Carrick says, Carrick don't say. Carrick says, hi, can I have a job? Nige says, Carrick can at least say, look at my medals. Pretty basic, but true. I know it's not a given, but he gets respect for his record. Is he underwhelming as he's not a shouter like Wilder? No, I don't know, Nige, to be fair. He's not really achieved anything as a manager, it's probably right to say. He's not got anybody promoted. I think he's done a good job with Middlesbrough. I think he did a lot said about him, them declining under his leadership, but they have also sold players every year, sold big players every year under his leadership as well. And I think they've always been a threat in the division. I wouldn't mind it. It wouldn't be my first choice. What you have to look at as well, a little bit like Frank Lampard. Obviously, Lampard had a more decorated career than Carrick. Still both fantastic players, and Carrick's widely recognised as a massively underrated player as well. But their contacts as well, not just excuse me, not just a pedigree for coming under and learning under great coaches. Obviously, Carrick learned under Alex Ferguson. Hasn't done an awful lot for Wayne Rooney. Doesn't always count for anything really, but he has contacts and connections with big clubs. People recognise him and pick up the phone to Michael Carrick, and same with Lampard and things like that. So yeah, I don't mind him being in the mix, Nige, to be honest. What's the FX on about? All right. Bry says Ten Hag anyone, and FX says shut up, Bry. Kev says, need you to talk back in the taxi for a few shifts, Jimmy. Quality content with the general public and not knowing what you'll encounter. Thank you, Kev. That content is going to be on Behind the Ramble, which is another channel that we've got. I'm going to do a bit of content on there recently because I've been feeling a little bit low. I don't mean to take the tone down because I'm feeling a little bit better now. We're on the up again, particularly after a day like this. I'm feeling a little bit low, and I thought it might be right to film some stuff when I'm feeling like I am. But I don't want to film, low. I have a conflict because it's not really that content that we want to put out there. But I also want to be open with people and let them know it's okay if you struggle. So I thought about it, didn't do it. But in terms of the taxi videos, we will be getting back in. And sometimes I've certainly on the last one because I've released the first one in ages. We're back on long form content for taxi videos. And it's on Behind the Ramble, as I say. I want to keep advertising it, but I've started talking a little bit more openly on there and sort of talking through some of my thoughts and stuff because it's Behind the Ramble, isn't it? It's what I'm thinking about, what could be coming up on the channel and stuff. So thank you for mentioning that, Kev. And I'm hoping to get back in the taxi this week at some point. The kids are back at school tomorrow, so it's been a long 6 weeks. I've loved it, but trying to juggle childcare and working at the same time is always really tricky for everybody. So I was talking to Paul about it today, of Wellstone Landscapes, who's a sponsor of the channel. Thank you for your support, and also working on my garden. That'll also be something coming out on Behind the Ramble soon. Scott says Tanganga's the best signing out of them all for me. Yeah, completely agree. Oh, what happened there? I'm going to get caught up in something. Tang's the best signing out of them all for me. I agree with that. Dave Morwood says, surely not Bailey Cadamartri. Don't forget to hype however you do that. Yeah, you can hype the video now, I think. If it's a video released in the last 7 days or something, it gets seen by more people as well as liking it. It's new to me. I'm not entirely sure how you do it, but I'd appreciate it if you wanted to do that. Let's have another check of Sheffield United socials. Not going to be on much longer. Can't be on much longer. Can't. And I'll keep saying it. Lee says 12 players in during this transfer window is good going by the board. Just one major new signing left to bring in at the very top. The lucky 13. Charlie says, main problems with Carrick is that he's a reactive manager and rarely changes formation. That was what most teams clearly worked out at Middlesbrough. Fair do. I didn't know that, Charlie, to be fair. I hadn't studied Middlesbrough's patterns of play enough. But that may very well be the case. And it's a very astute observation if that's true. Carl says, if they got a couple of these players in a bit earlier, it might have saved Sayers' job. No evidence that he can make good players work at this moment. I hope he proves us wrong. I don't think he will. Carl. I know, Carl, you're trying to give him as much chance as you can. I've seen some of your comments, and I think you've tweeted about it as well. I might be wrong, pal, but I love that. I love that people are still holding out hope, that giving him enough time, because he hasn't had a lot of time. That is one thing that we can all agree on. It's not a lot of time. It's just people are turning against him because we can't see any positives. I can't. I certainly can't. Anyway, that's my reasons for it. I hope he can, and he's going to get a chance against Ipswich to get these good players playing together. We'll see. Max says, we could have signed someone, however, we might announce it after. Possibly. John says, just woke up. Jimmy, can you give us a rundown on what's happening? Up the Blades, up the Ramble. What's not happening, pal? We have signed today, we have signed Alex Matos from Chelsea, who was a holding midfielder. It's probably his best position. Somebody that we needed. Somebody in the Vinny role, but a lot. Don't be expecting to see Vinny Sousa when you see him. He's a lot smaller in stature and a bit more mobile. Not like an athlete like Vinny was, but he's a ball winner in the middle, which is something we've been lacking. We've signed Ogbeni from Ipswich. I'm going to say Luton then. Ipswich, former Luton winger. Electric pace on the right-hand side. Somebody that will come in straight away for Andrea Brooks. He's then done a ridiculous, really poorly acted video on the phone. Hey, mate, I've just arrived at the Blades. It's a great place. You want me to show you around? He's talking to Mark McGuinness, his ex-Luton teammate, who, don't worry, Chio, I'm on my way. Mark McGuinness has then signed for Sheffield United. 4-year deal. Undisclosed fee. Was it a 4-year deal? Somebody said it were a 4-year deal. Yeah, I think it is. Let's have a little look at what the article says, if I can get onto it. Yeah, 4-year deal with the Blades. And we usually do +1s, as we all know. And then another one. Ben Mee signs. And we think that might be it. I'm certainly not staying on till 11 o'clock, but we think that might be it. We'll see, John. Hope that's you up to date, pal. Ersty says, doesn't Ogbeni sometimes play as a right wing back for Ireland? I'm not sure, mate. Not sure. May do. I might be wrong, but I've 100% seen him being played there for someone. He used to play there. He has played there on occasion. Most success as a right winger, it has to be said, that I've seen. Him on one side, Burrows down the other, attacking roles is a bit spicy. It certainly is. Will Mee become captain, says Dan Eyre. Should be, in my opinion. I agree. Whether he will or not is a conversation to be had. I think he should. Also, not heard anyone mention Godfrey can play as a CDM, which he has before now. We're stacked in defence. I think Godfrey's our right back. I've not known him play very often in midfield. He might have done a job there. But we'll see, mate. He's certainly an athlete, isn't he? So we'll see. Skyblade says 3 at the back is the only way to use Sariki and Burrows, in my opinion. I think he's a much better left wing back. Hamer attacking midfield, Barry and Ogbeni on the wings, and Campbell up front. Great team, but Sayers has to make it work. Birmingham have just tweeted. Brum teaser. It's either Pat Roberts from Sunderland or Robbo. Hey up. GT Blade says over 1,000 viewing and 303 likes. Come on, Blades. Back the best Blades channel on YouTube. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Maybe they're waiting for Robbo to Birmingham and they'll say it's over. Yes, maybe so. I'm sure the current Mrs. Ramble will understand, Jim. It's only twice a year. Yeah, because I'm not on Ramble a lot, am I? I'm not. Mate. Birmingham have just tweeted, so that'll be Robinson confirmed. I know there's more comments after this. I've just realised how behind on comments I am. But let's have a look and see before I get to your thing. Your confirmation. Let's have a look at not Birmingham. Why on X, if you type one thing wrong, it doesn't suggest anything that it could actually be. Birmingham. Oh, it's Patrick Roberts. It's not Jack Robinson that they've confirmed, which we're expecting him to do. So that may still come. Okay. Lee, I've only just, mate, started seeing the stuff that you've been sending me. Thank you, mate. Thank you for that. Oh, my word. Matt Fisher, hope you're watching, pal. I've just seen that you've got a ticket for United game. We'll see you there. Oh, Riff. That's a tasty looking squad. Anyway, let's get back to what people are saying. So we know that the Birmingham tweet isn't about Robinson yet. Decent window, if you ask me, says Dom. Just need a decent manager to play them in the right positions and get the best out of them. Don't you think Ryan O'Neill suits right wing back? United just tweeted and it's City Peck being called up. I know, I saw that. Up the Blades says Birmingham tweeted, don't go to bed yet with someone signing a contract. I think Robbo is gone. Your dream come true. Cooler King says improving the squad so much makes the club a more enticing prospect should the top job become available. What a really good point as well. So if Sayers gets the chop after Ipswich, for example, look at the squad they're coming into. That is now a more enticing job for someone like Sean Dyche than it was before today even. Before today, we've strengthened significantly today and kept Gus, which is a huge feather in our cap. That best player, still the best player with all the incomings. Gus Hamer's our best player. Let's not get it twisted. Yeah, congratulations to City. That's absolutely right. Yes, City lad, says Scott, and yes, City, says Dave. Yeah. Well done, Jim. You've done a great job tonight. Thank you, John. Big slap in the face for Leeds failing to prize Wilson from Fulham. Hopefully they'll be bottom by the next transfer window. Jay says, yes, Brian, it's a terrible window. I'm very worried. We needed 2 statement signings. Can't see where the goals are coming from. That's from a Leeds fan, by the way, just to not get it out of context with Sheffield United. Yeah, we'll be talking more about that on Yorkshire's Finest tomorrow night on Ramble FC. We'll see you over there. What a squad we have now, says FX. All we need is a manager and we're off and running. What a squad we have now. I want us all to remember how this feels because it won't last. The euphoria will wear off of being such a squad strengthening day, and we'll sort of fall into a bit of a slump again if Sayers gets another 1, 2, 3 games and nothing changes. But we can't forget how good a squad this is. We can't forget because it is. We are ready for this league. Just need somebody to be able to steer us that way. I hope it's Sayers. I just don't think it is. Steven Seagal says, "Are we expecting one more, Jim?" I'm not. I think if it gets to past, we call it. The way they're treating me is clearly going to be club captain, says James. What do you mean the way they're treating him? Is there a certain way? I've not seen it, James, is all I'm saying. Why would it make him special over anybody else? Is he not just giving respect to a man who's had a decorated career? That's the way I interpret it. I hope he is captain. I hope you're right, pal. I hope you're right. Louis says 3-hour streaming, 1,000 watching. Not long till 10k subs, mate. Keep it, Ramble. To be honest, mate, hopefully we hit 10k while we're still on air. It's been going that long. We're at 9,360. So thank you to everybody that's joined us. Really appreciate it. It's free to subscribe if you're enjoying the content. No to Carrick, says Rich. Flame Rider says, how many centre-backs? Are we going 3 at the back then? It does lean that way, doesn't it? It does lean that way that we're going 3 at the back. I would say it's a possibility now, a distinct possibility. There you go. Well done, mate. Thank you. I don't know what for. Only asset stripping I've heard of are the paper towels in the toilets, according to Dave the Nose. Absolutely. It's disgraceful behaviour. Paul comes in with a troll tweet, I believe, saying Hamer's gone on loan to PSV with a 15 million buy option. Better than Jim White tonight, Jimmy. Thank you, Rich. Did Asula's deal go through for 30 million? No, it collapsed, pal. It collapsed, apparently. Insane fee for someone who hasn't set the world on fire. Absolutely right it is. FX says, thanks for tonight, Jim. Great job. All the best. Catch you on the next one. You will, pal. Thank you for joining us. Gus would have looked at this. I ain't going to dirty Leeds. I'm staying up the Blades, up the Ramble, says Michael. So me is definitely in. Yeah, he's been announced, pal. Me's been announced. Me interview now. Me interview now. Oh, dearie me. James says, reckon if Sayers goes, I can see these new owners going for Danny Roll as they were interested in him. Interviewed him, mate. Interviewed him. From what we understand. Rich says, nice one tonight, Jimmy. Enjoyed watching it all night. Thank you, mate. People leaving and I'm still here, but I appreciate it. It's a long stretch, isn't it? It's a long stretch. We'll finish at past if there's no new announcement, which I'm hoping there isn't. When did Mountain go? And I said to him, I'll be off in a minute. And I considered leaving then. Connor's just tweeted. Nearly 10 hours of streaming in one day for Leeds to announce that Darko Jabi's joined Hull. Never change Leeds. Oh dear. Oh my word. Oh my word. Thank you for the kind words, Callum. Okay. Right. No tweet from United, though. That's what I originally went on to have a look at. Let's have a goose. Goosey gander. 10 more minutes. The countdown is on to our final throws of our transfer window. Thanks, Jimmy. Good stream. Once more, good opinions and good chat. Thank you, mate. Rumours Pedersen was the driving force behind Roll. Yes, I've heard the same, Danny. I've heard this. And it certainly looks that way, doesn't it? He's doing a good job there, you have to say. I'm not reading that, Harry. Not going to catch me with that one, pal. Andy Booth says, Daniel's just posted in response to Indy Calla that he's willing to bet his mortgage that Gay wasn't in bits after his move to Liverpool collapsed. Gay to United incoming? Yes, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Crook says, will Benny not be able to play against Ipswich? No, he won't, pal. He won't be able to play. Massive fair play to our Jimmy, everyone, for staying on all this time. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Thank you, mate. Chris says, if you remember, Ryan, okay, me was a bit late announced on deadline day, signing by Hickey. That went under the wire because announced after all the coverage had ended. Ryan One, I assume you mean, but yeah, I forget when he was announced, to be honest, pal, but it doesn't surprise me. I think that's probably what we're talking about when we're talking about loans out. Like Louis Marsh might go out on loan, and it's not really caught the waves yet, but I'm sure United had messaged about it. He's been training with first team. Daryl says, cheers, Jimmy, up the mighty Blades, up the Ramble. Like and subscribe. Good night. Thank you, mate. Thanks for tonight, Jimmy. Go enjoy time with your family. Don't forget to hit the like button and hype. Hype. Dave Mobile says, nice to see you, Jimmy. It's been a while. I know it has. You probably had a kip between me being live and still being on stream and walking up again. Jimmy says, the board have done some serious work. Not all about spending 20 million on one player. Keep Gus, and it's the biggest window in our history. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, onward Blades. Biggest window in our history. I know some are quite underwhelmed by it. So that's another extreme, isn't it, by saying it's the biggest in our history. But I do think it's a really strong window. When you lay everything out, I think it's been a really strong window. Francis can't believe Wrexham got Ben Sheaf. Would have loved him at the Lane Gym. I agree. I would have really liked him. I think he slots in beautifully. But, well, there's no buts to it, really. I think that is how I feel. But Matos might grow into that sort of player. We don't know I don't know enough about Matos. I'm excited about him because of his pedigree coming from Chelsea and the fact that he's spoken highly of by people I respect. But we'll have to wait and see. Michael Carrick, for me, was unlucky to get fired from Borough, says Al. The 4 players is the cake, says Up the Blades. Robbo leaving is the icing, and Sayers getting sacked is the cherry, but then it'll be dropped when they appoint Phil Neville, don't. If Sayers gets the chop, if, you mean when, Jimbo, says Dan. When, yeah, it will be a when. It will be a when. Ben Ozzy's gone to Stockport. Yeah, saw that might have been happening. Good move for him. Brownhill's still a free agent. If he keeps quoting the prices that he is, he'll stay that way for a while, Michael, to be honest. Brad says, would think we'd all use a back three now of the Blades up the Ramble. Yes, I would have thought so. Jamie says, Brum Admin also on his personal account commented on their latest Twitter post saying, who's next, Admin? Okay. One of my clients is a footy agent, says Dom. It's amazing, you know. It's just slightly off topic, but you meet people from, as you'd imagine, all walks of life doing this. So in our Platinum chat, for example, we've got official club sponsors, we've got people who have worked with one-to-one with players at the club, both currently and previous players. So there's connections in with players, there's connections in with managers and local people that know somebody who know everybody at some state. But it just, we're all working together. We're all really well connected. I'm not saying, Dom, per se, you have got, you know, like, all the answers, but there might be something that you can feed into us in the chat that might be really interesting information because of who you know. So it's amazing how, like, a channel like this, like, we're always harping on about the community because it's something I'm most proud of. It's the thing I am most proud of with the channel. But it's amazing how we can all sort of interlink loads of different things. Fez says, you straight out in the taxi, Jim? I'm straight out into my pit, mate. I'm going to bed. I am tired. I've had a good, really good, long, fun day with family. And then we've been on here 3.5 hours. What's the first letters of all the last tweets? Like they did a few years ago, yeah. Tony says, hello, Mr. Ramble. Long time no see. You and Connor going to do some more content together? Yeah, that's another one that I've said I'll do some content with over the international break, hoping to get together to hear him moan about them not pulling the trigger on Hamer. He was right there. They'd have paid, they'd have got him. Very good watch, Jimmy says. Ash from Trusty Roofers. Up the Ramble, up the Blades. Thanks for the quality content again. Thank you for supporting the channel, pal. One of our Platinum Ramblers. Appreciate you, mate. Nath says, Connor said on stream a day or two ago he had conversations with you about Hamer to Leeds. He said he's not going, and Connor said we shall see. Hope there's a told you so coming. To be honest, mate, it swung like that with Hamer. I wouldn't have tweeted what I did if it wasn't looking likely that they'd go. And I spoke to Connor about that before it had got a lot closer. So it wasn't happening. And I've been saying all summer I'm confident he stays. But I knew his agent were working in the background trying to get a deal together. Then there's been some personal circumstances and there's been some other things. And Leeds brought together a deal, or the agents sort of worked together. The wages weren't going to be an issue. The location clearly isn't an issue. And it was right there to be done. United named the price. Leeds were inching closer. And it got very, very close. And it's just not happened. It's just, for whatever reason, it's not happened. Because if Leeds had met our asking price, which again I'm so pleased the board held firm on, it shows we're in a position of power. Then, and the fact that Gus was happy to stay, that's a huge thing that cannot be underestimated. He was not kicking off or posturing for a move or anything. That is what saved the deal, really. Because if he'd have said, no, I want you to take 2 million less or 3 million less or whatever, because I want to go. I'm not going to be happy. Because I think the club would have gone with the players. Players have got a lot of power. But Gus was happy to stay. And that's what's done it. But ultimately, you know, he's a blade in it. And I'm absolutely buzzing about it. But it's happened. It was 95% there. Like I said in my tweet, which is why I was so disappointed in some of the stick I've had. Just from the absolute morons online who don't know how deals work. But they've no idea what's going on. And just because I get to know a little bit of something and I share it, I must be lying and stirring up an hornet's nest. It's a load of rubbish. Why would I do that? To what end? It doesn't compute. But it's all done now. And I think it's been proven that Leeds were certainly talking to Gus Hamer. PSV were also, I had no idea what were going. Well, I had a little inkling that PSV were interested, but I have no PSV contacts or anything like that. So whatever happened there, I'm in dark about. I didn't know whether he'd end up signing there today. It was when the Brentford deal fell through to sign the Veerman element of the deal. That's when we, like everybody else, I thought that's it. Unless Leeds come in now and finally meet that valuation that we've set, then he's going to stay. But you can't ever say that because you jinx it, don't you? So absolutely elated that he's staying. Absolutely elated. So Hamer pied Leeds again. Not in so many. Not in. No, he wouldn't have hated going to Leeds. Let's be right. He did probably doubled his money, and he's playing in Premier League. But he didn't want to leave Sheffield United either. It was. He's got a good thing going here, isn't it? He's not going for us on pitch, but he's adored here. Absolutely adored here. And he might, it might be another saga to play out in January. Who knows? We'll wait and see. Gary says, hi Jimmy, all right in thinking that Gus could still go because of the Dutch transfer window. Apparently so. Didn't know this either. This is what someone's mentioned tonight, that the Dutch transfer window doesn't close till tomorrow. So that may be an option. But the PSV have got nobody to buy Veerman, which they were going to use to spend the money on him. I don't think it happens. It's too rich for the Dutch league, the deal in question. Up the Ramble, up the Blades. Oh, Ruben Selles out. Okay, thank you, pal. Right, it's got to be. It's 9:30, isn't it? Let's be right. Evening, Jimmy. I can't decide whether this is a good window or not. Manager has to go, and surely someone can get a tune out of this squad. Danny says a big striker would be the only other I'd like to see this window. Cheers for the show, Jim. Really pleased to see you back and on and ignoring those guys. Keep it up, pal. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Like and subscribe. Like button, folks. Matthew says, but what's with the 4-year deals for Chong and McGuinness? Yet only a 3 for Tanganga. Bizarre. It's not just what the club want to give; it's what the player wants to accept as well. So Tanganga might think, I might want to assess my options in a couple of years as well and see how it goes. And I don't blame him for that. We're lucky to get him. Let's be honest. Get off to bed, pal. I think we're done as well. I think so too. We're going to call it there. Wilder to Rangers, says Rye. Call it, Jimmy, mate. We're going to. All right. Tell me to get off. It's never a good sign, is it? One last check of the United socials. One last check. Here we go. Refresh. And no, nothing. Right. We're calling it. I'm going to say thank you to everybody for joining us on this marathon stream. 3.5 hours. Look at that for commitment. 3.5 hours. My camera's survived that I accidentally left on from yesterday's stream, so has no right to still be running. Thank you to Sony for providing quality equipment. Thank you to everybody for joining us, for all the super chats, for all the comments, for all the support that you always give me. I love it here. We have built such an incredible community. More importantly, Sheffield United have had a brilliant deadline day. Look, don't this be me jinxing it, because there's a 0.5% of a chance that Gus might still leave. Even if that happened, and it won't. Even if that happened, it's still a really positive day for Sheffield United. Look at what we've brought in. Absolutely delighted. There'll be loads more content to come. So I don't know the days yet on which everything will appear on both channels. So if you're not already, please subscribe here to the Blades Ramble. Give this video a like if you've enjoyed it. Thank you for your support. Subscribe to the channel and obviously hype, whatever that is, whatever hype means now. But click the bell. Click the notification bell, which it'll just give you a notification on your phone when we're going live. Because I don't know yet. I'm going to sort all this out tomorrow. I'm also going to be going live on Ramble FC and Behind the Ramble at certain times as well. So go over there to those two channels. There are other channels and where we do different types of content. Ramble FC is a more generic football channel where we talk about loads of different things. Got a show coming up tomorrow with Cal Fowler where we're going to be talking about Yorkshire's finest and the Yorkshire team's transfer windows as well. We'll be looking at those. And we'll see you very soon. Yeah, keep it Ramble. But for now, come on, you red and white wizards. All the Blades!
Shots